Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
Seconds. Screw you.
It wasn't. I could fucking show you. It's being a douchebag.
Look at this. Look at this. Just looks beautiful.
What?
Us on
You see it?
He's already watching.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are children who are fighting, and Dave's an asshole, and I'm an asshole. This is your live lottery companion here for the 2019 NBA Draft. I'm Sean Anderson. Alongside me, as always, Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
Right now, we are about, I think it's like 17 minutes away or something like that. Right now, RJ and Zion are currently being interviewed by Rachel Nichols, Jay Williams, and Jay Billis now on ESPN. So we're just waiting until the time comes to when the lottery is picked. If you have any questions on twitch.tv/MostPlayerPodcast, hit us up in the comments. Ricky's got his computer pulled up to it. Dave's got his computer pulled up to it. I'm watching the lottery right now just to make sure whenever it starts, we'll be on top of things.
I've got Twitch up.
Yeah, at least he's got it up.
Is yours still broke?
No, I didn't.
I was just gonna watch the lottery off Dave's computer. With Twitch on mine.
Well, I was just gonna let you guys know because I thought we were gonna flip it over to the lottery when it started. But anyways, if you guys have any questions, throw it down into the chat. Any so far, or should we get into some topics?
So I've got one just to come up right away. Of course, it's a Bulls thing.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? The thing I saw is the rumor is if we don't get one or two, we turn our attention to getting Lonzo Ball.
Ooh.
I don't know what you're gonna give up for him. You're not gonna give up a fourth for him.
But that's
or
our target.
Third.
Apparently, if we don't get one or two, we are going in and getting Lonzo Ball.
I don't know.
Holy shit, 61 people.
That seems like a half-assed rumor because if that's true, like I mean, how do you know that number 2 isn't going to be a team that doesn't need a point guard? Like what if it's 2 and it's I don't know, let's say it's the Cavs and what if they want RJ Barrett or the Wizards? The Wizards would be a perfect one. What if the Wizards get it? They don't need a point guard. Why would they take Ja Morant? Just wait. What if you get 3? Like that just seems like a half-assed rumor. I don't know.
Shout out to Mike 2K Bulls Nation all the way.
Yes, shout out to Mike 2K who we met in a Bulls gift shop.
Yeah,
outside
that was
United
the
Center.
Philly Chicago game.
Yeah.
Also Demon King, what's up, my man? And
he's the guy with the eagle picking up the Patriot logo.
Yes, he does.
Yep.
So here's a question, I'm assuming, from Retro GK. Yo, if the Suns want a point guard, what if they trade their pick for JJ for SGA and Jerome Robinson and Lou Will and a future first, the Heat pick?
Ooh.
So they're picking Josh Jackson for Shai Gilgeous, Jerome Robinson, Lou Will, and a future first.
Jerome Robinson has no value. He's just young. That's the only thing he has. I didn't see anything.
He
from
had a
him
disappointing rookie year.
I didn't see anything from
He was
him that
injured
was well, and
often.
he was also a reach to begin with.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
that one's iffy. I don't see why the Clippers would want to give up Shai Gilgeous at all.
Yeah, he seems like a
he's
great
been
two-way player.
Very great. That lineup where they had the 3 guards of Lou Williams, Shai, and Landry was fantastic. And then also and Pat Bev too. And one thing too is Pat Bev's going to be a free agent, and Lou Williams is super cheap, so I don't see that happening. I think that's too many pieces.
Also,
right there.
Josh Jackson with the arrest. Did you guys read about that shit?
I didn't read about it. I saw it, though.
He tried to get into like a VIP section, didn't pay up for the VIP tickets, got handcuffed, and then ran away.
Nice.
Come on, like that. The mental image of him running in handcuffs.
What's worse, that or D'Angelo Russell?
That.
You think?
100% that.
D'Angelo Russell was trying to bring weed onto the plane with an illegal.
That D'Angelo Russell thing. Yes, that is dumber.
8 minutes and 30 seconds, by the way.
Or the Baker Mayfield thing of, I'm going to talk to the cop. Oh, wait, I'm going to run and then get tackled by said cop.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know
I'm
if
assuming Josh Jackson
got
got tackled.
Did he?
I would like to think so. How did they catch him? I mean, you got tackled.
They just grabbed him by the handcuffs and said, you're not going anywhere. But
Holy
Demon King
shit.
said, too, that he goes, that's not enough for Zion.
Yeah, probably not.
That's not enough if you're getting Zion.
For who? Wait, what are you talking about?
The Suns thing, the whole trade.
Oh,
He goes,
that was if they got one?
That's what Demon King was saying.
Oh, if they
Like,
got
that's not
one,
enough
there's no
for
way.
Zion.
There's no way. No. If they didn't get Ja or Zion, then they'd start thinking about something, a trade for a point guard like Alonzo, or if Shai was available for some reason, then yeah. But that's too lopsided for the Clippers. You have to give up a number 1 pick. You're giving up Shai, who I don't think you want to give up, and Lou Williams, who's super cheap. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no. Lou Will's deal right now is too good. I mean, come on, that guy is amazing as a bench scorer, and you watch him almost carry a playoff series with him, Trez, like that team.
Against
I want
the
them
Warriors.
to bring it back. Yeah, against the Warriors of all teams. I want them to bring that back and maybe land a Kawhi in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Raptors aren't done yet. I'm just saying, if they lose disappointingly and Kawhi decides to go somewhere, that would be a great place.
I want to throw something out because this is kind of in the same realm as free agency. Jake keeps asking me where Tobias Harris is going to go. Mm-hmm. What's kind of your guys' idea of where he would go? Jake threw out Utah, which I thought would be a really nice fit.
It would be. I mean, it's a Paul Millsap replacement right there, and that. Honestly,
a couple years late, but well, no. Paul Millsap wasn't even a Jazz. Paul Millsap started off his career
I'm thinking
Jazz.
Nuggets. I'm sorry, I went right over to the Nuggets.
Oh, no, Utah.
And
Millsap's still under contract for the Jazz. He's got a player out.
I don't know. That's weird. I'm not sure if I'm 100% in on that fit. I mean,
they need shooting from the outside.
I agree. I agree. They need someone who can create their own shot, and he showed that on the Clippers more so than the Sixers, but. I don't know. I'm not feeling that fit. I'm just not feeling it.
I think you were thinking Derek Favors, by the way. Were you confusing Favors and Millsap?
Well, Millsap on the Nuggets.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, Millsap's on the Nuggets, but then Favors is on the Jazz, who you still hate.
Yeah.
As a power forward. So
I do. He's an old school power forward, and I get it. As a front court defender, he's amazing. Him being your second fucking rim protector is awesome. But offensively, you are screwed.
Well, him as a five. That's where he needs to be
but they're
playing.
using him and Gobert together.
Gobert,
it locks people down at the rim, but it's just not enough offensively. That's what's killing them these last couple of years. So I guess if you're just trying to give them instant offense, Toby is a good fit. And he is an all-star, so I don't want to knock him at all. But I don't know. I would aim for someone younger. I think this is a team, if you got Donovan Mitchell, just give it time.
How much money do you think he's going to get? That's a question I'll ask before I throw out the team I'm thinking.
He's not getting the max.
Toby is not going back to Orlando.
No.
Demon King. I see that. I see what you wrote.
I'm thinking, so here's what I'm thinking. So
I would say probably anywhere in the range of 15 to 22. I'm not great with contracts,
Brooklyn,
but I would say around there.
That.
Then this could work. They might have to move a smaller contract like Nene to free up his 3.8 that he's going to make. But what if a team like the Rockets? They've got 11 mil coming up with Shump off the books. Gerald Green adds an extra 1.5 to that. They're going to have to add then depth through minimum contracts.
But aren't they still well over?
But I mean, I'm saying
Capella,
I'm just throwing it out there.
Harden.
If they could make a move
those
for
three guys
him,
are their entire contract.
I don't know if they can get them.
If they could, though, that's a team that I would be that's a piece that then
I don't
Tobias
think they can pivot
could help
that
you.
hard. I don't think they have the financial to pivot that hard. I think that they're best off
trading CP and then you don't have to
honestly.
Toby.
I don't think
Doing a sign-in trade with the 76ers that involves CP3, Tobias Harris, and other pieces.
Maybe that's getting wild. Hey, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, the comment section is kind of living it up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
And because we've got 127 people in here.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out you guys.
That's
What's up?
amazing. But I'm seeing some fantastic takes in here, and of course.
Well, here's one.
Sean's a closet Celtics fan.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
If anything, you're a closet Nugget fan.
Yeah, I think that one's more true.
Diego, this is starting. What are we, about 12 minutes away still?
No, it's closing in.
Okay.
Yeah, I think once they come back from this commercial break, they're going to start.
Wonderful.
Mike 2K. Tobias signs a 1-1 with Portland.
They don't have enough room, I don't think, either.
No.
I think that'd be interesting. I mean, this is
Jake.
No.
Did you see Jake? Could you
Yeah.
imagine a front court of Embiid and Tobias? That'd be great.
How'd you rank John Morant as a prospect compared to Fultz, De'Aaron Fox, Lonzo, and Trae Young? That's a fun conversation we started to have one day, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think Markelle Fultz was the best prospect I've ever seen as a point guard.
Fultz, yeah.
Yeah. Fox was fantastic. Trae Young, obviously, his size was his biggest thing. His size and lack of defense. I would probably put Ja as the third best prospect. I would probably go Markelle, Fox, Ja, Lonzo, Trae. And I know saying that out loud.
Wait, did you have Fox too?
I did.
But you had Fox behind Zoe the whole time.
Did I?
Those lotteries, yeah.
I feel like I put that there because of the Laker thing, but you might be right looking back on it. I don't know.
I mean, Fox was not a great shooter coming out, even for his first year.
Yeah, no, he was like baby John Wall.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about actual prospects,
They're
Zoe was a better prospect. And Fox has turned himself into a much better
ugly,
player.
and we knew it.
Yeah, but it was more effective than Fox's shot.
You're right. He actually hit it at least. So.
And we were trying to convince ourselves that it could be fine enough, which it obviously hasn't. He just really hasn't been quick enough to be great yet either, or healthy enough. So I mean, if we're talking about that, I'd probably say Markelle, Zoe, Ja. Then
no, you're right, because the volume of threes that Zoe was taking and the level of competition. That's the other thing that fucking kills me.
Here's the big one for Demon King. What do you guys think about the Knicks looking to shop the first for AD if they get it?
Per that Shams tweet?
I wouldn't do it. Zion is such he is such a prospect to where it's like, you don't want to be that team that we look back and go, remember those dumbasses that traded for Anthony? Like, they traded Zion away from their team, and it's like, well, you're going to have Zion for cheaper than AD.
Yeah.
And, Zion's not a guy where it's like, hey, he comes in and he's going to be a developmental project. Like, yes, he's got stuff to develop, but he's a guy that can come in and help you day one, unlike other prospects in this draft.
Well, here's the thing that I saw, and I think it's perfect for it. If you trade Zion for AD with the current roster, it makes no sense. If you trade him and get Kyrie and KD, it's super smart. And that's really pretty much it. I mean, if you're going to get those free agents...
Timeline matters, though.
Yeah.
I can't imagine if they get the number one pick, tonight, and then they're like, all right, it's on the market, I would be like, you're insane right now. Because I think you have to go and you have to take Zion, and then you have to wait till free agency starts. You can't pull the trigger on getting Anthony Davis. You count your chickens before they hatch. Could you imagine if they emptied it and they went and got Anthony Davis and then whiffed on KD and Kyrie and ended up with some B players, no offense, but a Tobias Harris and somebody else to pair with them, and it's like, well, that's not the team we were promised.
Yeah, like Stephen A.
It's the most New York thing to happen.
Where people are saying 95% chance KD goes there, but apparently KD's the type of guy where it's like one day he could just wake up and be like, nope, fuck it, not feeling it anymore, and then change his mind completely.
They just introduced all of the representatives for the teams. Some big names: Horace Grant, Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing. Obviously, the great Nick Gilbert, who's won multiple first-round number one overall picks for his dad, David Gilbert. A couple coaches as well. James Borrego was out there for the Hornets. And then also a great face to see for the Pelicans. Their new GM, David Griffin. It's
nice.
Great to see him back in the actual realm of basketball. Super great mind.
It is. He was a good guy, and honestly, him being a public voice actually meant a lot, because I felt like he was someone who would go out and talk. He had a personality. It made him more likable as a public person. As far as Diego, best long-term player who the best player for the Grizzlies is long-term? Are you talking in the draft or on their team right now? Because on the team right now, it's just Jaren Jackson.
Clearly Jaren Jackson, and the best in the draft is clearly Zion Williamson. I mean, there's not really an answer. I mean, it depends on where they land.
That pairing together, though?
What's that?
That pairing, Zion and Jaren Jackson.
It'd be fun.
You just make it work.
Yeah.
Defensively, I'd be terrified.
Here we go. Mark Tatum, deputy commissioner, on the podium right now to reveal him. He's opening the first lottery from the Ernest & Young Company, and the Boston Celtics get the 14th pick. It currently stays whole.
No.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Sixers. Yeah. Sorry, Sixers.
I'm reading the
Kings were never getting it.
Yeah.
Boston stays at 14. At 13, it's the Miami Heat, which also stays the same.
I told you. That's why I just stopped.
Next will be the Hornets if it stays the same. Tatum opening it, and it is the Hornets. So far, so good, I guess, if you are a Knicks fan.
Yeah, our fans are ahead of us, I think.
Yeah.
11? Oh, God.
And that's
Timberwolves.
oh, God.
It's rigged.
11.
It's rigged.
So that fell. Rigged. Yeah, the Timberwolves got screwed up.
It's rigged.
The Lakers are going up, boys.
Oh, wow.
It's rigged.
The Lakers are moving up.
Oh, come on.
It's rigged.
Kuz?
Yeah,
that's Kuzma.
Kuz, Dad.
Did you see that grin he's got?
Yikes.
He knows.
Yeah,
he knows.
It didn't even hit me at first because I was trying to focus on you guys.
It's going to be
Hawks at 10? Oh, that's the Mavericks. Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I was like, oh my God.
That's okay. You know what? As a Mavs person, I think they're okay with that because they get their picks going forward.
Yeah, the Hawks are fine with it. They get the
because that also
picks,
they've got the Knicks deal for the Mavs. They still have to deal with in the future.
Yeah, that's super smart for Atlanta.
I think it's lucky.
Wizards at 9.
It's a bad class.
Which means another team jumped.
Yes,
right?
it does.
Yeah, Grizzlies jumped. Grizzlies are in the top 4.
Fuck.
This is amazing.
Wow.
This is amazing.
We're going to get
This is, I mean,
we're getting,
come on.
Pelicans jumped too.
Oh, no.
Hawks are at 8. Oh, fuck.
No.
The Hawks are at 8. That's bad.
That means 1, 2,
Oh no.
14? Was that 14?
We're gonna get
There's one team so
so
far.
4 teams moved, right? If the Hawks are at 8.
Yeah, the Bulls are gonna get the
No,
7th.
because right now there's no.
Oh, okay.
The Bulls are at 7.
Fuck. It happened again.
Yeah, it did. It
happened
again.
again.
Yikes!
This is insane.
So 6. I mean, is it going to be the Knicks?
I hope it's the Knicks.
If it's the
No,
Knicks,
it's the
is it?
Suns. That's my prick. It's
Oh,
the
okay,
Suns.
okay.
I was like,
I
I don't know if you were looking at Twitch.
No.
I'm waiting. This is
Suns
insane.
at 6.
Oh,
Suns got sunsed.
my God, this is amazing.
All right, well, we're gonna have to guess the order too of the top 4 because they're not gonna reveal that right
Yeah.
away. They're gonna have to go to a commercial break
So-
and get all the guys
Why
together.
does this
Hang
always
on.
happen to
So
us?
the 5 is either the Knicks or the Cavs, right?
Yeah, and it's the Cavs.
Oh,
So the Cavs stay at 5. So right now it's 14 the Celtics,
Cavs
13 the
fell 5.
Heat, 12 the Hornets, 11 the Timberwolves,
It's
10
rigged.
the Hawks via the Mavericks,
You can't
9
tell
the
me this
Washington
isn't
Wizards, 2 the Atlanta Hawks, 7 the Chicago Bulls, 6 the Phoenix Suns, 5 the Cleveland Cavaliers, and the top 4 picks right now the Lakers, Grizzlies, Pelicans, and Knicks, and we will be deciding or hearing that order coming up
this
after
is
this commercial break.
insane.
You cannot tell me this is not rigged. That the
This is
Pelicans,
insane.
Lakers, and Knicks all in the top 4 magically? Ooh, LeBron gets Zion. Ooh, could the Knicks get Zion? Could AD's team get Zion? This is freaking rigged, people. Rigged. And then the Grizzlies are just there because we feel sorry
Here's
for
the big news too. So if the Knicks are planning on trading the number 1 pick for
Yeah.
Zion or for Anthony Davis,
Yep.
that means
Pelicans
that the
get
Pelicans
anyways.
could get 2 top 4 picks. That would be absolutely
What if
a
they get-
crazy way to
what
if
if they get
restart
two?
and
Unfortunately,
energize it.
What
One
if,
of
what if they get
franchise.
2 and the Knicks get 1? And then basically the Pelicans get Ja and Zion.
And then technically, because I mean, I think they're also going to try to get Kevin Knox from this Knicks deal.
Oh my God, that would be insane.
Absolutely
Oh.
insane. All right, let's check the Twitter comments.
can't tell me
or
it's
the
not
Twitch
rigged.
comments. This is
It's
amazing.
yeah.
Oh my God, from Diego Celtics.
At least Dave got what he wants.
D Rose
I told
cheated
you.
on his
Hey, can we shake hands on this?
Poor
Well,
Suns.
I owe you Arby's.
Yep.
Yeah, our boy Eric saying it's got to be the Lakers. That guy who saying rigged. Zion whispered to RJ, one of us is playing with Braun. Oh. Casper said, holy shit. They just hoed us Bulls from Bro God _ Kyle Craig, not because the Knicks have better jersey than Memphis. I don't know what that's. I think that's for something else. Yeah, a lot of holy shit, what the fucks. This is
Yeah.
crazy. So thanks for being in here, guys. We appreciate it. Remember
rigged.
to make sure that we are going to be doing our mock draft off of this immediately after. So once we get the number 1 pick announced by Mark Tatum, the deputy chairman, we will go right into this mock draft. So get your guys' thinking caps on.
Do you want to start filling out the order on the mock sheet?
Yeah, you could do that.
right.
This is absolutely crazy. I was not expecting 3 teams to jump into the top
I
4.
was telling you guys the whole time.
No.
Shit's going wild.
On top of
It's
it,
true.
like, and of course I'm thinking as a Bulls fan here, like, of course we get fucked 2 ways, where it's like, not only do we not get a top 4 pick and get moved to 7, the Suns are ahead of us. So, like the comment section said, basically, John Morant, welcome to not becoming a Bull, or Zion not being a Bull. Why does this happen? Why does this happen to us? But
It
you
happened
know,
to every single team.
I should feel faith in Garpax because the last 2 years they've picked prospects that have not been.
No,
that
and last
bad.
year you had the 7th pick too for
Yeah.
Wendell Carter Jr.
So we'll probably get Kobe White, and he'll be good.
Honestly,
I mean, with this, the only team that cannot complain about getting screwed by the lottery would be the Cavs because you got so many 1st-round picks early on. You got
moved
LeBron
1
James.
pick.
What's that?
They were like if it
Yeah, they-
stayed chalk, they'd be 3. Now they're 4.
Yeah, but I mean,
Or, I'm sorry,
they're 5.
5.
But I mean, that's the only team that really can't complain.
Yeah.
I mean, the Suns got screwed again. I mean, the Suns, should have had a top 3 pick. They got screwed out of that. Bulls got screwed out of that. This is absolutely crazy. Lakers, Grizzlies, and Pelicans. I was thinking, maybe one of those teams, but not all 3 of them.
all of the teams.
Absolutely insane. And it didn't even snap in my mind right away when the T-Wolves got it. Let's go back to the chat. Nod Ja for us Bulls. Hey, Ricky had him falling all the way to 6, so let's see.
So if you believe in Ricky,
Sorry about the
gonna put
Bulls,
that.
guys. From Kyle. Cam Reddish to the Cavs at 5. Let's see. Actually rigged from Kizig.
Can't believe the Lakers paid for Zion. There's my boy Kyle.
Run, jump, fly said Bulls need to be smart to find this Steph Curry, number 7. Darius Garland might be the only one with the chance with that. Let's see. It's staying chalked. I don't know what that is, Jake. Lakers are so getting one, like no doubt. This is the craziest lotto I've ever seen in my time. That's the truth. Lakers about to get the first pick. Agreed, Jake. Can't believe the Lakers paid for Zion. Oh, man. That's going to be the immediate discussion that we have once ESPN comes from this commercial break is how Zion and LeBron might fit together.
What do you think the order is going to be if you had to predict it right now before we come back?
Yeah, good one. I'll say Lakers 1, Knicks 2, Pelicans 3, Memphis 4.
I'm going Lakers 1 because the shit's rigged. I'll go Grizzlies 2, feeling the upside. Pelicans 3, Knicks 4.
So the Knicks get absolutely screwed.
Fuck the Knicks.
Every team gets screwed.
So I'm going to go Knicks at 1 because this shit's rigged.
Okay.
Pelicans at 2 because this shit's rigged. Lakers at 3 because this shit's rigged.
Oh, man.
And then the Grizzlies at 4 because, we need to give the Grizzlies some love.
Can we get this man a box of tissues? Like, you're going to cry over
So
a
it's
ring?
basically going to be Zion to the Knicks or gets traded. Pelicans get Ja. Lakers get RJ. And then the
That'd be
Grizzlies are at
Just to
talks.
confirm, the order at this point is Celtics are at 14, Heat 13, Hornets 12, Timberwolves 11, Hawks are 10
Via Dallas.
and then who's 9?
9 would be
Wasn't it the Wizards?
Wizards.
Is it Wizards?
They're going to
Wizards,
show the
Hawks
full
again?
order at the end.
Hawks again. Here we go. Fourth pick. Fourth pick is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh,
So Kyle Kuzma
So we didn't
representing
get
the Lakers
fully
in a
rigged.
sweet purple jacket. I mean, it's still rigged. They got the fourth pick. Third pick, the New York Knicks.
Wow.
So the Grizzlies and Pelicans will be picking first overall.
Pelicans number
Pelicans
one.
One of them
getting
teams.
Zion.
Pelicans number 1.
Second pick in the 2019 NBA draft is David Griffin, bringing one home for New Orleans, and he is. The Grizzlies are picking 2, and the New Orleans Pelicans have won the 2019 NBA draft.
so
They will be picking number 1 overall, and they still have the ability to trade Anthony Davis
Yeah,
as well.
you're losing
So
your best player
rigged.
and one of the most polarizing players in the league, and everybody's like, Pelicans are going to suck forever again. And guess what? Here's Zion Williamson.
That's absolutely insane.
Here's your token.
Yep. All right.
Try again.
We don't need to have ESPN on any more longer for this. We have the draft lottery already ready to go, and guys, let's just get right into it. We got the order ready. We got the order set.
I believe
on
the order
spreadsheet.
set. Can you guys just
We'll double check it,
one
and
more
we'll read it.
time?
We'll read it off too, so you guys can start thinking. And post lotto mock right here. So 14, the Celtics are picking. That's via Sacramento. 13, the Heat are picking. 12, the Hornets will be picking. 11, the Timberwolves will be picking. 10, the Hawks will be picking via Dallas. 9, the Wizards will be picking. 8, the Hawks will be back on again with their own pick. 7, the Chicago Bulls will be on the clock. 6, the Suns will be on the clock. 5, the Cavs will be on the clock. 4, the Lakers will be on the clock. 3, the Knicks will be on the clock. Then 2, the Grizzlies will be on the clock. Just imagine if that was unprotected for Boston. They'd have the 2 pick. And then number 1 overall picking, winning the draft lottery for the first time since Anthony Davis back in, I believe, 2011, if my memory serves me. No, 2012, because I think 2011 was Kyrie. Since 2012 will be the New Orleans Pelicans and their new GM, David Griffin.
And you want to know something else that's a funny coincidence?
What's that?
You know who's the last freshman before Zion to win the
Anthony
Player of the
Davis.
Year?
Yep.
Anthony Davis.
So
Fucking rigged.
let me know when you guys are ready, because Ricky, you're on the clock for the New Orleans Pelicans at 1. It's
Well,
going to be a tough choice.
I was just going to say, are we going to start for the audio listeners
right.
that this goes on?
That's right. So
later.
if you guys are still watching on Twitch, nothing's going to change. It's just going to be a weird break, so Ricky can cut it up and put it on YouTube and can put it up for Blog Talk Radio. So we're going to take a break. But before we jump into our lottery mock draft, I feel like Bill Simmons right here. We're taking a break to talk to you about our friends at Patreon, and our friends are just us. Patreon.com/MostValuePodcast. If you guys want to check out our page, you guys want to help support us, you guys want to help us get out of this room, you guys want to help us make live streams more frequent, more available, and higher quality, check out patreon.com/MostValuePodcast. And not only will you be just supporting us over there, you also get some cool rewards. We have the bronze tier, the silver tier, and the gold tier. Bronze tier, you get Discord, you get the ability to talk to us every single day at the moment's waking. I'm usually up till like 5 a.m., so you can talk to anybody at any given time. At Silver, you can throw out some topics for our podcast, whether that be the Onside Kick, the Primetime Podcast, the Fast Break Podcast, the Rick and Johnny Podcast, a graphic conversation, or Too Old to Game as well. And then finally,
Dave was like, don't forget my podcast.
and then finally,
Respect.
the gold tier, where if you pay $10 a month, you can be on a podcast. You pick the topic. You talk to the podcast host of your choosing about the topic that you want. We always have a fun time with Jake, John, Eric, et cetera, all of the fun guys that we have that have been on through the past. Bill, Z as well. I'm going to forget Matt, Pat. I'm just trying to think of every single person. But all of you guys have been awesome. And if you want to be an awesome person as well, check out patreon.com/mostofallpodcast. But now it is time for our NBA Draft Lottery post NBA Draft Lottery. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the Fast Break Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. We are currently live on Twitch. We'll go to your guys' questions later on, too. And if you guys see anything that pop up to you guys in the chat,
we'll call it out.
Yeah, throw it out there, too. So if you guys want to stick around, you guys most likely will. This is our live post-lottery mock draft. We just got the lottery order announced to us from Mark Tatum, the deputy commissioner. It is an absolutely insane lottery. I don't think anyone was expecting this. A lot of chance and a lot of claims of rigged out there. Absolutely crazy. We're about to get into it. Before we do that, just check out patreon.com/mostofallpodcast if you haven't already. This is going to be on YouTube. This is going to be on Blog Talk Radio. I'm also going to try to make sure we're also still talking to our people on twitch.tv. This is an absolutely crazy situation that's going on. Let's read off the order before we get into it. Picking number 1 overall will be the New Orleans Pelicans. Picking 2 overall will be the Memphis Grizzlies. Picking 3 overall will be the New York Knicks. Picking 4th overall will be the Los Angeles Lakers. Picking 5th overall will be the Cleveland Cavaliers. Picking 6th overall will be the Phoenix Suns. Picking 7th overall will be the Chicago Bulls. Picking 8th overall will be the Atlanta Hawks. Picking 9th overall will be the Washington Wizards. Picking 10th overall will be the Atlanta Hawks again via the Dallas Mavericks. Picking 11th overall will be the Minnesota Timberwolves. Picking 12th overall will be the Charlotte Hornets. Picking 13th overall will be the Miami Heat. And finally, at 14 will be the Boston Celtics. Ricky Widmer, you and the New Orleans Pelicans are currently on the clock.
I hate this. I hate Zion Williamson.
Yeah, let's say, come on. How easy
Are you
is this
crying?
pick?
A little bit, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not really crying, but I am really, I'll be honest.
It's not that bad.
As a Bulls fan, I am very upset about this. Not that we didn't get one. I knew this was going to happen, that we fall back. I'm like, oh, we're going to fall back to 7. I keep saying it so that, I didn't get so upset, but I'm still upset. But Zion, number 1, he's a Pelican. This shit's rigged.
Jesus. Dave, who's your pick? Number 1 overall.
Bold pick here, guys. This guy, very little known. He's low-key, rising up boards. Zion Williamson?
I thought you were going to say Brandon Clark, the number 2 performance you said from college basketball this year.
Statistically was.
Yeah.
And then finally, number 1 overall for me, Zion Williamson going to the Pelicans. Let's talk about the obvious. What do they do? Obviously, they're going to take Zion Williamson. There's no reason for them to trade. If the Knicks got the number 1 overall pick, they were probably going for Anthony Davis. Well, Anthony Davis is already on the team. So let's talk about it. What do they do with Anthony Davis?
You
The New
trade
Orleans
him
Pelicans.
to the Knicks.
But for what now?
Yeah, for
The
what?
3rd overall pick.
And?
That's it for Anthony Davis?
No, but that's not it. You could get Kevin Knox from them. You can get the 3rd overall pick. That, I'll be honest, number 3, if it's there, depending on what the Grizzlies do, you could get, let's say the Grizzlies go RJ over Ja because they've got Mike Conley. Mm-hmm. Then the Pelicans could say, all right, AD discussions. Hey, Knicks, let's go. We want Ja as well. And I think the Pelicans could leave this draft without AD with Zion and Ja at 1 and 3.
That'd be great for
With
them.
other pieces, of course, because you got to make the contracts work.
What do you think they should do? I mean, is there any way you talk AD into staying?
No. I'm done with AD. AD's done with this town. I'm moving forward.
He Daenerys the whole situation.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
He just Game of Thrones did.
I don't get it.
He burnt the city alive and said,
Not only the bridges,
I'm outie.
but the children.
Yes.
And the women.
And the families.
And the families.
Aaron Rodgers.
That was insane. I don't know, though. Would you rather move him to New York for the number 3 pick? Or, as I see in the comments from Big Chat, I'm going to stop right there, trade him to the Celtics for Tatum 14 in the Grizz pick next year.
Yeah, and then you also throw in the 22.
Yeah, they do have a lot of firepower. The Celtics could give up a lot of picks this year.
So we're all saying you got to move AD even though you're having Zion.
Right.
I mean,
100%.
Well, here's the one thing that I'm going to bring up is I think David Griffin, immediately once he was signed, was that he reached out to Anthony Davis, and apparently they had really nice talks. So that's one thing that I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Gold star.
But I just want to make sure that you are clearly saying that there's no chance that Anthony Davis could stay in New Orleans.
I don't think that
I'm not
Anthony
saying I
Davis
think there is, but
Zion Williamson will wear the same jersey. on the court during the regular season this year.
Unless it's an All-Star game.
Yeah, sure.
And not even that if it's one's a Knick and one's a Pelican.
Yeah.
Unless he goes to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the question. So it's the package. Do you go for the Knicks because they have the highest draft pick this year? Do you go for the bulk from the Celtics in a class that could be a little bit weaker? Or do you go for the package of we could just rebuild the Lakers, on our team?
Well, and not only the Lakers, you get Zion with it. And you get also the 4th pick, which could possibly just be his teammate, R.J. Barrett. I mean, what package out there would be the most intriguing to you? Because this just reinvigorates all offers that New Orleans could throw, or that Los Angeles could throw out there to get AD.
I am shipping. If I am the Pelicans, I am shipping him to the East because I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him unless it's the finals. Like that's what.
I don't care.
That's the thing. Where
I'm
it's
taking
like
best offer available.
See, but that's also the thing of like I think that there's so much, and I know David Griffin is different, but like with ownership too, I think there's so much hatred from the Pelicans to the Lakers. And plus, I don't believe in Rob Pelinka to get the job done. So that's another thing of with the Lakers side of it. I think at this point, it's, yes, the Lakers are on the table, but he won't get traded there. It's probably either New York. If Ja's available at 3, there's a New York discussion, draft night. Otherwise, it's a Celtic conversation, and they get a top pick next year on top of some lower picks this year.
Well, who do you think can offer the best package? Because we look at the Celtics.
I think the Lakers right now can.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the Celtics.
They got the best young talent.
They have
and they've got the 4 pick.
Yeah.
Well, the Celtics right now, they have 14th pick, Jason Tatum, and then a ton of picks even behind that 14th and some futures. Like you were saying, the Lakers, they have the 4th pick. They have not only Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, but Kyle Kuzma as well. That'd be hilarious if they, Kuzma was there representing them at the lottery.
Moved his ass.
And then they moved him. And then obviously with the Knicks, you have Kevin Knox, Frank Ntilikina, and then the 3rd overall pick. Which one's most intriguing to you, Dave?
I'm taking that. As much as it hurts me, I would take the Lakers deal. I would ship him to the Lakers if I could get that package. Are you kidding me? Like, absolutely. And the question is, obviously, the Lonzo thing comes with the asterisk because it's the I don't want to play there maybe. So you might have to work out like a 3-way deal or a second piece after it, kind of like the Bucks did when they passed Stanley Johnson through town to get Nikola. But it's just there's so much talent there. I'm taking the 4 probably, and I'll take their pieces, and I'll be happy. And the one thing that's kind of a bummer in all this is Julius Randle played an awesome season for them this year, and I'll be honest, this is just a straight upgrade. Like Zion should be a straight, equivalent or upgrade to Julius Randle, who had a great performance.
Well, even then, I mean, even
so
if you're thinking he's not
he's
not the same talent level, which he is. He's more talented than Julius Randle. He's still going to be cheaper than Julius Randle, and he's younger. So you automatically get that upgrade that you were talking about.
Yep.
What do you think about this, Ricky? Where are you leaning on?
For me, I am leaning. Of course, the Knicks will be probably the best package in the trade that I'm seeing in the chat from Jordan Morris. It's AD for Kuzma, Lonzo, BI, and then the number 4 pick. That's probably the best you're going to get because like with the Knicks, they don't have they've got Kevin Knox in the 3rd, but they don't have 2 other young prospects that are on that level. But then also you've got.
I'm going to throw this out there. Damon King said the 3rd, Mitchell Robinson, Kevin Knox, and then probably Frank. So I mean that would be the battle is Ingram, Kuzma, and then Ball versus Robinson.
I would take
Knox
the Laker package
and Frank.
See,
that's the thing.
Unless you're gonna pile on future first. If you're going to mortgage your team going forward, then I would be interested.
I don't see the Pelicans making a deal with the Lakers. That's
You'd
why
say that is done.
I think the Knicks are 1, Celtics are 2, Lakers are a distant 3. Because I think the Lakers, they're not going to be able to get an AD deal done, and we'll have to look at other teams to get trades done.
I think the Pelicans thing is completely overblown. I think it wasn't as bad as they were saying, and then also on top of that, even if it was as bad as they were saying, I think the Pelicans were most likely doing it just to see what the full offers they can get in the offseason. Because what if the Celtics got the number 2 overall pick?
Right.
We don't know. So now that this is kind of a new regime in Los Angeles, and you also have David Griffin leading the head in New Orleans, I think their 2 plans are either trying to convince AD to stay, and even how unlikely that is, I think you have to at least try to do it, because having AD and Zion Williams on the floor
that's your job.
would be insane. And if not, I think you have to go straight to Los Angeles because you have the ability to get a point guard of the future in Lonzo Ball. You have the ability to get a crazy great wing scorer in Brandon Ingram. You can add that next to Zion Williamson, and that is, looking like possibly a great, core for the future. I would probably then also have to. What's that?
I'm just saying. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm ready to go number 2 already, man.
Oh no, I mean,
go number 2. Wow. Talk about the number 2 pick.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot to talk about with all of these picks. A lot of them. We're gonna be talking a while, Dave.
I know. I'm just trying to keep us on track because it's a hard conversation to follow for those joining in chat right now. We are still on the number 1 pick. We've all decided Zion. We're just trying to see what would happen around that pick.
And we'll probably cover it more too. It's just actually on the podcast. So let's move now to the second pick, and that is the Memphis Grizzlies. We have a ton of Grizzly fans currently in the chat. A lot of people are just obsessed about Ja Morant and Triple J playing together.
Nick, you in there?
What is your guys' idea for the Memphis Grizzlies at 2?
Ricky, what you gonna do?
I'm conflicted. I'm honest. This is the pick I'm conflicted with because you currently have Mike Conley, who's only around for 3 more years.
Only 3.
Only 3.
But if you don't want a double point guard situation going on, you could go with RJ, and RJ would be a really good pick. That's why, for me, I'm going to slot Ja in here, but I think there could be a serious debate whether they go Ja or RJ Barrett because Mike Conley's already on this team.
Sucks for you that you're not on a debate show. Dave.
But I'm not on a what show?
A debate show.
Oh, okay.
Dave, who are you picking it to?
Yeah, I'm taking Ja Morant. Mike Conley, thank you for your time. We loved you. You've been a great player on this team.
Does he get shipped?
Yeah,
traded?
He's getting traded. It's just a matter of when. I don't think they're not in a rush to trade him.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a forced thing. It's just I want to see him play healthy for a bit. I think that will help his trade value. He's been a consistent player his entire career. It's just if he's healthy this year and able to remain healthy, I think the value is probably going to be there. I know his contract's high, but he is also a really good point guard and always underrated.
See, and that's the reason why for me it's because he's such a good point guard.
Yeah.
That hey, let's go RJ,
Get a
who
scorer.
can also be a ball dominant scorer like Ja.
They do need
and then
someone.
we don't need to move on from Mike Conley.
Yeah, and then the question comes in and I've heard this before and recently, can you win with a guard as your leader in the NBA today? And obviously outside of Steph Curry and I think there was another guard, Isaiah. Those are really the biggest examples of a guard really leading your team. I mean, you could throw in Magic Johnson, but Magic was also 6'8".
Right.
Can you have a traditional smaller guard be your lead player in an NBA title championship team? And that's where the whole debate between Ja Morant and RJ Barrett would come into handy. I'm going to throw out Ja Morant out there, too, for the Grizzlies. I know, obviously, we have the same pick, all 3 of us, for this. But I don't see a way you can pass up Ja Morant because, yes, Mike Conley is there, and you might have to work around his contract and then trading him as well.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money for Mike Conley, but when he's healthy, it's definitely worth it. But I would rather not have a player teach him how to be a professional than Mike Conley. Mike Conley's been nothing but a fantastic professional. He's been nothing but a great leader in that locker room for Memphis. He's been around great players like Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph. I would love to see his mentorship passed on to Ja Morant. I think it'd be a great fit, even if it is for just a year. And some people might wonder, since they do play the same position at point guard, would it create too many problems? But this is the Memphis Grizzlies. They don't need to really win games this year.
What's their timeline looking like? You have one of the youngest players from last year's draft, in Jaren Jackson Jr., adding Ja Morant, who I know he's a second-year college player, still pretty young. I mean, I just look at Conley, and it's clear he's going to be the veteran in the locker room, and I think, like you said, his experience there is going to be welcome, but at the same time, once that price is right, I could absolutely see them shipping him.
The only question that then comes up, and this is brought up by Jake, and probably some other people too, but this is the first one I see from Jake, Conley for the Suns pick at 6. Does that come into play? So if the Suns come to you and say, hey, we'll give you the 6th pick for Mike Conley, and obviously some other pieces going in there that would be straight up, would you do that deal for the Grizzlies, and would you do that deal for the Suns? If there is not a way to work that out, who's saying no? Is it the Grizzlies or is it the Suns?
I think the Suns might say no. Depends on what else they have to give in to make. Well, no, because they should be really low on guaranteed dollars this offseason. So they might not be completely screwed. I don't know. I'm still curious about that because I know you want to make Devin Booker happy by winning games, and adding Mike Conley is an instant way to win games because if he can drag the Grizzlies to wins, I mean, he is coming in as a stabilizer for that team. He comes in as a point guard who can facilitate and get DeAndre Ayton involved. He can try to work with all these young pieces on this team and actually prove something from a team who's been stuck in the top end of the lottery year over year over year, unable to, have any forward traction. So I like the idea of it. I just don't know if that's in their timeline on the Suns' end because they've collected a lot of talent. And, if they want to move forward, great. But I look at the West and I'm like, yeah, you could compete for an 8th and try to make a run. But the West is so loaded.
I think if anyone's saying no to that deal, it's the Grizzlies.
Really?
Because to me, the thing about the Suns that I like is if they make that deal, they could make a run for an 8th seed and still have a pick next year. Because next year they're going to get Milwaukee's pick. Because I don't see Milwaukee, unless Giannis gets brutally injured, being a top 7 pick next year.
I agree.
So, like, Phoenix is going to have Milwaukee's pick. So, like, if they throw in the Phoenix pick next year and then other picks, like, that's the thing. How many picks are you going to need? For me, if I'm the Grizzlies, if I'm giving up a Ja Morant, I need
giving up Mike Conley.
Mike Conley. So you're getting Ja Morant. If I'm giving up Mike Conley, I need next year's draft pick.
I disagree. Mike Conley for a 6th overall pick, that's a great value for the Grizzlies.
He's 30 years old right now, right?
I mean, I think that's why the Grizzlies probably have to give up a little bit more to do that because that 6th pick is going to be so valuable. He's so cheaper. I think so. I mean,
valuable to the Grizzlies, yes. Not valuable to the Suns.
We'll see who's available.
Well, isn't that the reason why it would be worth the trade?
No,
if it's not valuable to the Suns, they don't mind giving it up, and they can get something in value.
That's what I'm saying. Like for the Grizzlies, it's valuable. For the Suns, it's not valuable. Like the value depends on what team it is picking there. Because like if I'm the Suns, the point guard I'm getting there, I'd rather have Mike Conley than Darius Garland. That's why the value.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why the trade would make sense because the Suns.
I'm agreeing with you, Sean.
But you're using words that are like...
Yeah, you're taking like an argumentative tone. To throw it out there, too, Suns will have 83.7 in cap next year, or on the books next year. So, I mean, that's going to be something that they do have a lot of cap out there. And really a lot of that to do was getting rid of the Ryan Anderson contract for the Tyler Johnson one.
Question I've got, and this comes from... I'm going to screw up this name. Basically, I'm just going to say IGN. Says that Chris Dunn, the 7th pick, next year's pick for the number 2. Do you take it if you're the Grizz?
Trying to get involved?
If you're the Grizz, do you take Chris Dunn, the 7th overall, and a 2020 pick?
No. Chris Dunn's done after this year. You don't need a point guard if you're taking Ja Morant and have Mike Conley. So that's a wash. You don't need Mike Dunn. You don't need.
But Chris Dunn could be your backup because Ja would be your backup behind.
But you're not trading Mike Conley. Or I guess you're keeping Mike Conley. I'm sorry, you're not. Yeah, you're keeping Mike Conley. No, I still wouldn't do that.
I would not do that
because we're just talking about the 6th. I mean, there's such a fall off from that top 3. I mean, you're immediately declining your value from that 2 to the 7th. If you give the Bulls Ja Morant, they might be able to get a higher pick near the in the top 10. Obviously, we saw this year that really doesn't matter anymore.
No.
But I would still say no to that deal. Let's go away from that though. I think Ja Morant would be a great fit with this team. I think
absolutely it sets a tone for the future.
Even if you have to worry about Mike Conley, what you're going to do with him for the future, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Let's move now to the Knicks at 3. Who do you guys have the New York Knicks going with?
It's RJ Barrett. Besides Zion, I will be completely honest, this was the best situation for the Knicks because now you can either do 2 things. You can trade the 3rd overall pick to get Anthony Davis like we've already talked about, or if you're going to keep the pick, to me, the best player out of the top 3 would have been RJ next to, like, being a guy, I think it was Richard Jefferson that said it today on The Jump, and I totally agree. If you're going to have KD and Kyrie, which all of us think are going to be in New York, you need a guy to come in and be a rookie and give you about solid minutes and give you like 10 to 12 a night. That's the bare minimum you need, and RJ Barrett could be that guy. That's why I would pick RJ at 3 if I'm the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean it's a no-brainer pick for me. Also, Demon King, just a small correction on his end. The trade was for Chris Dunn and the 7th for Phoenix's 6th, basically to leapfrog Phoenix to get the point guard of their dreams, perhaps a Darius Garland.
What are you talking about? The one that we were just discussing?
Yeah.
No, that was the 2nd.
No, you just said the trade was Chris Dunn and the 7th for Phoenix 6.
Yeah, I was reading IGN's IGN had one that was for the two.
He was reading the one from
that's right. Yeah.
Ignacio Roset.
Yeah.
Right a little bit above.
I think we had a couple trades in chat.
Yeah, it was done plus 7 for 2. Anyways, let's move now to my pick. I'm going to go with RJ Barrett, too.
Yeah, it's boring chalk. I'm sorry, but there are 3 players in this draft class.
Where it's going to go is going to be the next round, or at least it's going to change. It's going to be the next picks. RJ Barrett's just going to be a great fit. And this is now, let's say they don't trade it, and let's say they're just going, obviously, here, this is what I'll say. He's the best value. Go with the best player that's available, because if you're going to trade it, he is that guy. And then also, if you're going to stick with him, he's still the best fit there. Because Kevin Knox, probably a 4. Mitchell Robinson, clearly a 5. You have Frank, you have Dennis Smith Jr. Those guys are both the ones, possibly a 2 for Frank. You need a 3. You trade away Tim Hardaway Jr., not on the team anymore. You need a 3. Fill that spot. And RJ, not only is he going to fill that position, he's also the best player on the board. It's super easy. Yeah. Is a trade still available then for them for AD? Because that was a big talk going into this. If they get the number 1, AD would be going there. We obviously talked about it a little bit, but how much does it hurt their trade value?
Quite a bit. I mean, there's a dramatic fall from Zion Williamson to RJ Barrett in a lot of people's minds for value. So I think that they're kicking in more if they want to force that deal to happen.
I don't think it hurts that much. Like, yes, Dave is right. There's a fall off from Zion to RJ, but it's not like RJ isn't chopped liver out there. Like, RJ is still a quality prospect to where I don't think it's going to hurt trade value at all. It's going to maybe be less than number 1, but they can still get it done with a number 3 pick.
Here's one coming from Gandekcs. I don't know how to say that. Anthony Davis is still gone, LOL. They literally refused to play him minutes. To talk about faith, Pelicans will move him for Knicks' 3rd pick or Lakers' 4th plus assets, and Zion could potentially team up with RJ. So, I mean, if they do trade it, I mean, obviously we know RJ and Zion could play together. How do you like that fit, though, in the NBA?
I would be fine with it. I 100% would be fine with it. I think you know what you need around them much easier. Like, it's much easier to fill that supporting cast out after watching them play together for a whole year in college. Honestly, that's like a huge perk that is like an unwritten thing because you know exactly how they play. You know how they play with each other. You've seen what happens when you have Trey Jones on the court. You see what happens trying to force Cam Reddish into a shooting role. So you're like, okay, so we need a better version of Cam Reddish out there to shoot. We need a way more mobile and athletic 5 because if we want to use Zion as a 4, he can do this. Or if we want to run small ball 5, like it gives you a blueprint to work with, so which I think is invaluable.
So then let's look at, again, let's just revisit these trade packages again. Let's say Mitchell Robinson's in that deal for the Knicks, and that he's going to New Orleans along with the 3rd pick. And let's say the Lakers are giving in Brandon Ingram with that 4th pick. Clearly, you're getting RJ Barrett, and then probably a DeAndre Hunter, Jared Culver, whoever you want to take at that 4th pick. Let's look at the guys who are available on our board. So whoever player is not named, John Morant, RJ Barrett, and Zion at that 4, and Brandon Ingram, or you go with RJ Barrett and Mitchell Robinson. You get that mobile 5 and a guy who's very familiar with RJ Barrett. And obviously, there's going to be more players involved with it, but at least the baselines.
That's the core. Yeah.
Which one do you lean more towards?
I'm more interested in Ingram. I always have been. I've always leaned on Ingram. I think that put the ball in his hands, let him create, let him be the guy who runs an offense, and that's the best version of Brandon Ingram. What we saw this year for the first 3/4 of the year was a shell of himself. I mean, it's trying to force a square peg into a round hole of an offense. That his role is not to stand up and be a spot up shooter. So giving him the ability to basically be at the core of starting a new team and letting him have the ball in his hands and create. He's a great ISO player, so I'd love to go forward with that.
Even though the fact that he's older than RJ Barrett, and you're gonna have to deal with his contract more sooner.
I understand. I still like him better as a prospect. His height, his wingspan, and honestly, it's a lot of that and his decision making on the court. Like RJ's an okay facilitator. He makes some real dumb passes, makes some real bad shot selection. Like there's a lot he can be taught because he is younger, so that's fine. You got to coach through that, but. I look at what Brandon Ingram brings today, and give me that.
Ricky?
With me, I am sticking true where it's like, you know what, I'm going to go with the young guy in RJ and kind of have him under contract because what if also, because the draft happens before free agency, what if KD changes his mind? On July 1st happens, KD changes his mind. I have RJ locked down longer than I would have Brandon Ingram, and Brandon Ingram I'd have to pay sooner than I would RJ.
Our boy Kyle said NBA rigged it for the Pelicans because if
I
AD
know,
left
right?
and they didn't have anyone noticeable, people would have honestly forgot there was even a team in New Orleans. I don't know about that, but
I am right with you.
and
right
Jake
with
said
you.
and Jake said KD to the Pelicans confirmed.
Please.
Let's move now to the Lakers at 4. If you are just joining us, Pelicans at 1 taking Zion Williamson, 2 Grizzlies taking Ja Morant, 3 the Knicks taking RJ Barrett. Lakers are on the clock. Who do you guys have them taking?
So
Jake, I want to say Jake also said there's 0% chance that they take a player here at 4.
before I throw out my pick, I do want to throw out Elite N8. Said if Lakers pick Cam, I'm going to cry. They better get Culver if they don't trade it. I'm actually going to go with a shock value pick here. And this might be a little bit of a reach for some, but on my big boards, this has been a guy that's been floating around this range. If they make the pick, Brandon Clark is the pick at 4.
I was thinking you were
Brandon
going
Clark.
Bol.
He was number 2. That's who I was thinking. But
Why are you liking both of those players?
The reason why I'm looking at
It's a bit of a reach.
so for most it's a bit of a reach. For me, it's right in range of where I've had Brandon Clark kind of floating on my personal big boards.
Yeah.
And when I look at the Lakers, I think of 2 things. One, this timeline where trading is in their best interest because they've got LeBron James. You don't build young teams around LeBron James. When you get LeBron James, you load to go get championships, go get AD. But if I'm going to take someone in this draft, I'm going to go with an older player. That's like a Jarrett Culver, a DeAndre Hunter might be better than a Cam Reddish because they're older players from this year. And also,
Right.
I look Brandon Clark. They do need some front court help. He is an older college player, being 22, almost 23. And with me, that intrigues me more as a Laker LeBron team. But really, I'm trading the pick.
You want a guy closer to AARP?
But
Yeah,
like,
I
how
do.
does
Yeah.
if you're stuck with that pick, like say there's no deal in place and they have to move forward with him on that team, like how does he fit out there next to LeBron James and Kyle Kuzma? Is he your 5? Are you trying to make him play small ball 5 all the time? Like, or are we just saying positionless basketball where we're just gonna get a bunch of guys between 6'6" and 6'10", and that's our group, and we're gonna roll with it?
How would you think that lineup plays out? Like, who's playing the 1? Who's playing the 2? Who's playing the 3? Who's playing the 4?
Now-
Who's playing the 5?
They would probably have to get a 5, like in free agency, because at 6'8", he's not playing, son. He's not.
So Kyrie Irving gonna play the 5.
He's not going and basically saying, "Hey, I'm going to go 1-on-1 with Joel Embiid." He'll get smoked every single time. But I think Brandon Clark could be a good 4 for this team, and then it opens them up to, let's say they do get a Kyrie Irving, because I know that Stephen A. said I had someone from Kyrie's camp basically say shut it down.
Yep.
Well, guess what? It's good. It's fun to talk about, and anything's possible. If they get Kyrie, that might make Lonzo expendable. Then you have Kyrie, LeBron, you have B.I. and Kuzma, and then Brandon Clark could be your kind of defensive 4 that you have out there.
I love having the live chat going on. We have
Yeah.
people giving their picks like Culver.
Yeah.
Jake was saying Garland. Ben Feller saying Suns better not trade 6 for a 30-year-old point guard. Might as well take a chance in Garland. Nova Control saying Brandon Clark at 4.
Elite N8. If we get Clark, I'm going to cry even more.
I think Colin Chirac also said looking ass. Ass pick he also said too. So I'm going to go before you, Dave, just real quick, and I'm going to throw out Darius Garland. I don't know if you're going to go with him.
I'm not, so
I'm
go
going to
ahead.
go with Darius Garland. I'm kind of chomping at the bit this one. When we did our big board, I had him the highest. I think I had him at 4 here.
Yeah. I believe
so.
I love his quick release. I love his ability to score from the outside. And we're talking about scoring and shooting from the outside. This kid can do that. And yes, obviously Kyrie Irving is out there. He might sign for the Los Angeles Lakers. That is true. That could be a thing that happens. And that could obviously be a thing that totally changes this.
Yeah.
And then this is a reason why they might not take a player here. But I think that Lonzo might be moved. And I think Darius Garland would fit better next to LeBron James. And if they're moving him, if they're moving Lonzo Ball, I think they're probably going to move him to Phoenix. And if that happens and they end up getting the 6th pick, we might be seeing the Lakers going back again, where they could get a Brandon Clark at 6, a little bit where his value more is at that 6 spot, or a Bol. I love that Darius Garland fit. I think he's a great point guard next to LeBron James. The defense might not be there, but fuck it, it's the NBA.
Do you have a shot creator?
Don't think that Lonzo's automatically going to Phoenix. When we get to the Bulls, we'll talk about it. But apparently now, the news coming into today from the Sun-Times was that if we were 3-6, we'd look at Lonzo.
You're 7, so
I
We're
mean,
even worse.
We're worse than what we thought we'd be.
congratulations. Dave, who are you going with?
I'm going bold. I'm going ball. I'm going Bol. I think that at this point, I'm pissed if I'm a Laker. If I'm on the Lakers, I'm just pissed that I got 4. At this point, I'm taking the guy who can make an impact right away at the NBA level. And I think that Bol's offensively gifted on a different level. And I've eaten shit all year about his injuries and how can you have a healthy 7'2" guy and he's just gonna keep getting worn down and his frame is this and all this shit. I don't care.
He's like, I like him.
The dude can stroke it from 3. He fits their offense. What they need around LeBron James is perfect. He can come in, give you 20 plus minutes a night, no problem. I don't see anybody else on this draft board left who, if I can't trade back, then I'm taking Bol. Most upside.
Ben Feller agrees with you. He says Bol is so damn underrated.
Yeah, I go back to the point. I'm like, okay, if I'm stuck with this pick, and maybe I'm stuck with it for a while because I don't know until free agency happens. Like, I think he's also one of the most attractive people in as a trade piece left in this draft. I look at upside. Like, there's literally no one better. Garland is interesting to me, and I would say they're close, but Bol is just a unique package. You see guys like Darius Garland coming in and out at different levels of success. So give me the guy who is the unique. Give me the potential unicorn.
Gonna jump in here from Retro OKG or Retro OGK, who says where can we actually see your list? They'll be put up later. Right now we don't have the ability to put that up. And then also someone said, and it was Retro too, saying Garland is with Clutch Sports. And Jake said Woj bomb. It wasn't a Woj bomb. It was a Shams bomb. The Pelicans getting the number 1 pick has not changed Anthony Davis' mind. So that's coming from Shams. Has not changed Anthony Davis' mind.
He gone.
Shocker.
And that they're going to pick Zion Williamson, another shocker, there. And also apparently I said Colin wrong. My bad, dude. You have 2 O's in your name, so oops. Let's move now to the 5th pick, Cavs.
Hang on. We got Retro GK. Garland is signed with Clutch Sports, so he's saying it's bound to be a Lakers pick. I don't know. I sort of want to agree at that point, but maybe we're reading too much into it.
Now, go to your pick, Dave, for the Cavs at 5. We're going to switch it up.
Oh, you're okay.
Let's switch it up. Go to 5.
All right.
Dave's like, I didn't have it set up.
You're going to be fine.
That's all right. Off the top of my head, the 5th best player in this draft, I am going to take... it pains me because I want to say I would take Jarrett Culver here.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to go Cam Reddish.
That's what I'm going with. I'm going Cam Reddish.
My gut says Cam Reddish, and if I'm wrong here, fucking flame me for it. I'm sorry.
Totally going with Cam Reddish.
But I'm going to take Jarrett Culver. I think that you add a tough defender, a secondary ball handler next to Colin Sexton. You give him someone to play off of, and I like their offense at the end of the year where he was coming off of screens more. He was able to free flow beyond the 3-point line, and it just looked like, he just was a better player with that. And then B, it looked like they were having much more success as far as the flow of the offense. So I want a secondary ball handler. I know they were relying on Jetty a little bit. I know they were relying on other guys to create, but adding Jarrett Culver, giving them a great defender. They were an awful defensive team. They desperately need defense. So I get that his upside may not be in the Cam Reddish level that I've actually been a big proponent of it.
Yeah.
Not to overlook him, but I just like the fit better. And I know it's a swing for the fences. I'm going contrary to a lot of the stuff I've been preaching, but given the point and put on the spot, I made the pick.
I am going with Cam Reddish because of John Beilein being the head coach. Like, this is something where I know that we rag on Cam Reddish for how he finished this season, but I think Beilein coming in, being the head coach of the Cavs, it's like I told you, Dave, when you, to our group chat for us 3, we're like, all right, Beilein got hired by the Cavs. How should I feel about this? And my first thought was, it's kind of like a lesser Brad Stevens, where yes, this team isn't going to compete for the playoffs, I don't think, next year, but it's a young team, bring in a young coach who can work with college talent easier. If there's any coach in this lottery that can work with Cam Reddish to kind of work with whatever struggles he was going through, it's a college coach like John Beilein, who's shown that he can get talent out of, I'm going to say lesser guys, because he wasn't getting the Duke, Kentucky guys. He was getting like the Abdul Rahmans, the Tim Hardaways, the Glenn Robinson of the world, and not the Zions, the Cam Reddish, the RJ Barretts, the Kyrie Irvings, the Jabari Parkers.
He was getting the Karis LeVerts.
The Karis LeVerts.
Here's the thing is, I like both fits there, because I think that, and for the point that you just said, I think Culver does need some developing offensively, and he already has that defensive side to him. but Cam Reddish clearly has the upside. So that's where I'm torn. I don't love Cam Reddish at all. I mean, I've made this clearly known. If you watch any of our podcasts,
you hate Cam Reddish. You hate Bol Bol.
I don't hate Bol Bol.
I hate him.
He hates Bol Bol's knees. That's what he hates.
I don't like that he's injured. He injured his foot. I'm gonna go Cam
Totally
Reddish
looked
here.
like you flicked off the
I
camera.
know it is. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Cam Reddish here. I think the body is there. I think that the potential's there. He's younger. I think it makes more sense. And I've talked about it so much, and you've really talked me into it, Dave. So I'm shocked that you weren't going here.
It's fair.
He can get so many shots and so many opportunities here and so many chances to just be his own player. And I think Beeline will let him do that. And I think Beeline knows how to get the most out of players. And I think he'll know that that's what Cam Reddish needs. He needs the ball in his hands. He needs the ability to make mistakes. He needs the ability to find what works for him. Cam Reddish, I think, could do that in Cleveland. I'm going to go Cam Reddish for the Cavs at 5. There's no real trade talk here. You guys got any Twitch comments you want to throw out there?
No,
'Cause it looks like you're
There's probably
smiling.
a video from Stephen A. Smith, but he's talking for like a minute 30, so I don't want to play that during this. But we'll check it out later.
Thanks, Kyle, for the heads up.
Absolutely will. I've got it tabbed.
Here's a couple. Nova Control says KZ Okpala is greater than Cam Reddish. Thoughts?
I love KZ. You're wrong.
But
Why is he wrong?
Well, because it's like Atlanta Gang said, he's a mid to late first rounder, being KZ.
KZ,
KZ's
you
a
can get
late
value
to
from.
mid.
He's more of a project. His shot from the outside's not great. I get his use in that offense. It was just the wrong fit for him. He was asked to create a lot, and his shots were poor selection or just completely contested, so maybe he should have passed out. But I think he's talented. I think he's just somebody who is a project player. Cam Reddish, still a project, but I think that you put him into a system, he's going to be able to perform for you better, more of a prototypical 3 and D wing. KZ Okpala, you have to build around him more because ball in his hand is more successful, similar to like a shitty version of Brandon Ingram.
Yeah,
That's just a rough take.
And I agree with the D Rose in here. I'm not going to say his whole name. D Rose said Cam Reddish needs to be somewhere where he can just play and gain confidence without being worried or make mistakes. So I love him to the Cavs, and that's same place where I'm at is here. And we're going to recap it too because Eric just asked us to for the people who missed it. Pelicans at 1. We all have them taking Zion Williamson, and Shams just said that it's confirmed. So Zion Williamson will be going number 1 overall. We have that right. We at least have one, boys. At 2, we have the Grizzlies all taking Ja Morant. At 3, we have the Knicks all taking R.J. Barrett. Then at 4, I have the Lakers going with Darius Garland. Ricky has the Lakers going with Brandon Clark. And Dave has the Lakers going with Bull. At 5, I have the Lakers going with Cam Reddish. Ricky does as well. Cam Reddish to the Cavs at 5. And then Dave has Jarrett Culver going to the Cavs at 5. Up next is the Suns. We'll get back to their order. Ricky, who do you have the Suns going with at 6?
This one's hard. I'm going to go Darius Garland. And the reason why I'm going Darius Garland is if he's healthy, I think he's better than Kobe White. And I think he fits this team better because Kobe White could also be that combo guard. And I don't think you need a combo guard with Devin Booker. You need someone who's going to be kind of more your pure point guard, although Darius Garland can score at the point guard position. This one, like these next 2 picks are the interesting ones because they're the teams that really needed a point guard, really wanted the point guard. And now we come into the question of will one of them try to trade up desperately to get him, especially if the Grizzlies go RJ and not the point guard,
I mean, they could,
Ja Morant.
the Grizzlies could sit on this pick and be like, so, Suns, what's your offers? Bulls, what's your offers? And just make the decision at that point because I absolutely could see the Grizzlies taking a trade back, adding more value for the future of this team because they are so young.
But
I get it. I love Ja Morant on the fucking
that's what I was
Grizzlies.
gonna ask you about.
It would have to be a lot of value to move back. But if you could get a Darius Garland, who is still there on Ricky's board, and who I would also take for the Suns pick at number 6, that's not a bad compensatory start.
So you're locking in that pick.
I am.
Okay.
I am also going Darius Garland. I like him better on the Suns. I get it. We're going the full D'Antoni rules of double the offense, none of the defense for their backcourt between Devin Booker and he. But I absolutely his shot's just so good. Like that Suns team, just firepower for days, and having someone who can facilitate. And I know his college stats for assist ratio isn't great, but I think between him and Devin Booker, you're going to figure it out, and you're going to make it work out.
Well, that's
there.
the one thing that I liked because I didn't like him going to the Bulls because I didn't think they had enough of a guy who could facilitate an offense. I mean, really the only guy out there would be Chris Dunn, but he's not healthy enough to really rely on, and he's coming up after the end of this year.
Yep.
And Zach LaVine isn't really a great
he's a worse version
facilitator.
of Devin Booker.
Exactly, but you have the better version. You have Devin Booker right here. And
on
maybe
the
not,
Suns, yeah.
maybe not a better version exactly. I mean,
They're
Devin
differently rounded.
Yeah, and they're. I think Devin Booker probably would be higher on most people's list. But he has more of an ability to dish the ball around, and that was really his main job, and he has at least learned that. So if he realizes that Garland's not moving the ball enough, maybe he takes over because he's been there for longer. He does have that really personality to take over and dominate. Garland though is not on my board, and they clearly need to go with a point guard. I think they're definitely calling up the Lakers. I think they're definitely trying to see what they want for Lonzo Ball. Mm-hmm. I think that would definitely be my first move on the Suns front office. I don't know what James Jones is thinking. I don't know what their plan is. But now the question is, do you go with a point guard or do you go with a power forward? Because that's another big thing that's come up with in Suns videos for us, is that they need a power forward. Dragon Bender's coming up at the end of his contract. So you, again, go away from the point guard position that you consistently kind of gone away from. You did draft Eli Okubo last year, or Eli Okubo last year.
Who I love, but he needs time. Mm-hmm. Keep working with him. Keep running him and DeAnthony Melton. They're bench unit guys, though, right now. And that is exactly why you guys won, 20 games?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a reason why you're so bad, and I agree. They could use power forward help, but point guard is what will drive that win total.
My thing is I don't know if there's an impact player out there that they need. I think the Suns need someone who's going to make an impact and just get them out of the basement and get things going.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's a guy out there right now. Because Garland would be that guy. He's already off my board. Cam Reddish wouldn't be that guy. They have too many fucking wings already. He's off my board. I don't think Kobe White's that guy, really, to get them going. I don't think Brandon Clark's that guy either. I don't think DeAndre Hunter's that guy either, because he's, again, too much of a wing. Bull really wouldn't fit on that team. I don't know who to pick. I'm going to be honest here.
So you got to reach?
You either have to reach or you have to look for a trade.
Yeah.
Kevin Porter Jr. is out there, but he's not a point guard. I'm trying to think of an impact player. I really have no clue on where to go right here.
No, I actually like in the comment section, someone did bring up trading back and trying to aim for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Mm-hmm. That intrigues me because you get defense, you get a competent guy who can run the offense, facilitate, score, shoot. He does everything for you. Mm-hmm. The big knock on him versus a Kobe White is just he's got a whole nother year on him and doesn't have an amazing throw. So
yeah, that's one thing that keeps coming up too is a lot of people bring up the Hawks and that the Hawks should trade up. And now if I'm talking about the Suns moving back, I think that might be a thing where the Suns could load up and maybe they don't get that impact player, but they can get a shot at a Kobe White because I think he'd still be available. And you can get a shot at a guy later and maybe at a power forward. I guess I'll throw out Hunter just for the fact, and I agree with Eliton8, who says Suns draft DeAndre Hunter and get a decent point guard for free agency such as Darren Collinson. I don't know about the free agency part, but I do think that Hunter could play the 4.
It
I'll go
sets him
DeAndre
up
Hunter.
for a hell of a fucking front, though. Think about that. You just drafted excellent shooting and defense in Mikal Bridges, who had a super underrated fucking year.
Yeah.
And then you add in DeAndre Hunter, another guy who can play the 4 for you. So now you've got your 3, your 4.
TJ Warren,
learned how to shoot threes overnight.
Shoot 3.
Someone needs to get him and Ben Simmons in a room together.
Josh Jackson with uber potential.
And Devin Booker just lighting up from everywhere. They're so...
Another guy who had an extremely underrated rookie year, the number 1 pick, DeAndre Ayton.
Again, just go ahead and just bring the stacks of cash to Terry Rozier's desk. He's already publicly told the Celtics to go fuck themselves on ESPN all day today. So I think that's the plan. I wouldn't be disappointed if they went with your situation and took Hunter here because he is they're building out a super defense heavy wing happy team. It is the future.
I want to give a shout out to Elite Nate, who I read wrong, and I think you're laughing at the one thing that I saw of what shampoo Kobe White uses.
Yeah. Well,
shout out Aaron.
The one comment I liked on our could Kobe White be a top 10 pick? This was weeks ago. Someone this week commented and called him the balding Mamba.
Who?
Kobe White, the balding Mamba.
The balding.
Yeah, apparently he's balding. I guess.
Don't see balding.
I haven't. It's hard to see under that.
That's true.
If he's got
it could
something
be,
going.
What was it? Alfred Payton that had the.
Oh, I
The hair
hated
that came
that
out
fucking
covered
Yeah,
his face.
and here's a thing that I want to bring up since we're still in the Suns. Nova_controls, and we'll recap the picks after this. Nova_controls said, I think the last thing the Suns need is another wing and Hunter. They have McHale, Jackson, Warren, and Oubre, and are already struggling with minutes. Now, Oubre is going to be an RFA after this year, so that it's not for sure that they're going to bring him back. But that is something that I was struggling with, because, yes, Hunter is a wing. He's more of a 3-4 rather than Jackson, who's a 2-3. Same with McHale, who's more of a 2-3. Warren's more of a 2-3 as well. He's played more 2-3,
Warren's
4,
a little
4,
thicker,
5.
so
Yeah,
you can slide him to the 4.
He's played 2-3, 4-5. He started his career playing the 2, but I just think that I think that really, Hunter's just the best player available at that point. Yeah. And I don't trust Kobe White. And someone was saying I trust his ability to make his own shot. He really just needs to pass the ball on that team. And
it's true.
I like his tenacity. I just don't know if I like him there for the Suns. And they're saying Alex Caruso is the balding mama. That's
he
what
really is.
Okay.
Someone said I heard the Suns will attempt to trade Jackson and Warren if Oubre resigns. So I mean that's something that's also
they've got
out there
pieces
too.
to move. Yeah.
That's right. All right, let's move to the next pick. Let's recap first. 1, we all have the Pelicans taking Zion Williamson. 2, we all have the Grizzlies taking John Morant. 3, we all have the Knicks taking R.J. Barrett. 4, I have the Lakers going Darius Garland. 4, Ricky has the Lakers going Brandon Clark. 4, Dave has the Lakers going Bol. At 5, Dave has Jarrett Culver going to the Cavs. Ricky has Cam Reddish going to the Cavs. I have Cam Reddish going to the Cavs at 5. And then 6, Suns taking DeAndre Hunter. Ricky has Darius Garland going there for the Suns. And then Dave has Darius Garland going there as well. So let's move to the team.
We
got a lot of Bulls fans that keep saying they're on suicide watch.
It's rough.
Obviously, do not do that.
Yeah,
It's just basketball. You guys are going to be fine. If you do need help, go get it. But the Bulls, worst case scenario pretty much happens for them. They fall to 7. Ricky, give your thoughts. This is your time to vent before you give your pick. Unless you want to go into your pick and talk about it.
I'll do both, but this is you guys know, I've been venting where it's we'll probably get, joking, we'll probably get the 7th pick. Thinking that it was going to, if I will it into existence, that I won't be upset when it actually happens. Well, guess what? The NBA is rigged, and it still hurts when my team gets pushed back to 7. At this point, I know there's a lot of people in the chat, and I agree with you. Kobe White would be my pick. But Hear me out. I kind of don't want Kobe White to be the pick here. And the reason why is I am fully on board with Garpak picking up the phone, calling the Lakers, and basically saying, hey, what do you want for Lonzo Ball? Because the thing that I think can intrigue the Lakers in that and get us Lonzo Ball, who I think would be a better fit at point guard for us than Kobe White, is if the Lakers are trying to go for AD, what's going to intrigue the Pelicans more? A Lonzo Ball who is under contract until he's an RFA in 2021, so you only get him for 3 more years potentially? Or, hey, on top of our 4, you can also get the Bulls pick and get more draft capital to kind of use and have that one player locked down for more years. That's why if I'm the Bulls, I'm seriously looking at Lonzo Ball because I think he helps us in more ways. But if I have to make the pick, Kobe White's my pick at 7.
And someone real quick, I want to give a shout out to Jep Rocks, who says Ricky still thinks the Bulls would get Ja. That one made me laugh.
If we trade up, we can. But I just don't see if either the Suns or the Bulls are trading up. The Suns have more capital to get a trade done to move up into 2 or 3 than we do. So I mean, we're not getting Ja. The point guard will not be, or the point guard will not be in Chicago, and I'm going to live with it.
One thing people are saying though, what would the Bulls give up in your scenario? What would be something?
For Lonzo?
Obviously, don't give out the whole thing because we're horrible at trades. But I mean, what do you think would be an ideal package for them?
See, and that's the thing. Right now, I know the 7th pick would be involved. I don't think we'd have to give up a future pick. It's just the fact of, would Chris Dunn, the 7th, and maybe another player be enough to get that done? I don't know. And the thing with the Bulls is I don't want to give up a future pick in this, but I feel like I may have to. If I do have to give up a future pick, I'm giving up 2021, not 2020, because of the point guards that we could see in next year's draft.
It's difficult because the past two top 2 point guards that we saw traded, both were in completely different scenarios and scenarios that really just weren't beneficial to trading them.
Yeah.
First one was D'Angelo Russell, who was traded by the Lakers. That was with Mozgov to clear up cap space to the Nets for Brook Lopez and the 27th pick, which ended up being Kuzma. And then obviously Markelle Fultz, who got traded for a later pick, I think it was 24th or something like that, for Jonathan Simmons. So,
Yikes.
I mean, this is something where we really haven't seen a value for Alonzo, who doesn't really have those off-the-court issues like D'Angelo is having in the locker room.
But by injuries.
That's what I was getting into. And Markelle, obviously more plagued by injuries to the point where he hasn't been able to play.
True that.
But Lonzo, again, has been dealing with a ton of injuries, in his first year and then his second year as well. So I think that the 7th is definitely going to have to be involved for sure. Yeah. I don't know if Chris Dunn would be though, because how does he really interest them? Just because he is a point guard, I mean, I don't know if that really.
Yeah.
I mean, he's RFA at the end of the year, so like really, if anything, he's.
No, but how does it interest the Lakers? Is what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. He's an RFA after next year, so it's like, hey, you're off the books after next year. More money to get free agents for LeBron if they don't hit this free agency. The other thing I was kind of swirling in my head is if we do make the 7th pick, because of who's available on my board, I would go Kobe White, but there was a part of me that's like, you know what? Would Jarrett Culver be a better pick than Kobe White for us at 7 if we had to pick between the two? Because I know for both of you, he's off the board. No, Sean, he's not off the board for you yet. For Dave, he's off the board. So, like, that's something for me that I thought about in my head before settling on Kobe White.
All right. I mean, I think you're overthinking a little bit because Kobe White's just the answer. For me, I've got Cam Reddish still sitting on board, and I'm like, it's awful tempting. But same time, we need to replace Chris Dunn, and I want to go young here. I don't want to take a stab at Terry Rozier.
No.
I feel like he, personality-wise, might not work with the Bulls. So I'm going to go with Kobe White, who had a hard-nosed coach in college, played in a system, understands his role, and understands when he needs to step up and excel and become a focal point of an offense when he has to drive and get done himself, which we saw throughout the tournament. So I'm taking Kobe White here. I did consider, playing a reach play on even a Brandon Clark because I've got the health concerns for Lowry Markkanen, and I'm not really concerned about Wendell yet, but another one injury and down, big man. I'm like,
it's a good look.
Yeah, it's not a good look. So I considered Brandon Clark after Cam, but no, I'm just taking it easy and going Kobe White.
I'm going Jarrett Culver here. I know point guard is the biggest thing in Chicago. You need a point guard. There's options in free agency. You still have Chris Dunn for another year. You could obviously explore trade as well. Jarrett Culver is a fantastic value at 7. I don't see a reason why you pass him up. And one thing too is the Bulls love to run multi-ball handler sets in their offense. They love having multiple guys who can handle the ball out there. Culver's a guy that can do that. Levine would be a guy that can do that, and Dunn, when healthy, can do that as well. Yes, he's not a point guard, but he is a guard. He can play the 2 or the 3, and he'll fit into that system. He can play defense. He's going to be going under another hard-nosed coach. Chris Beard was as well at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
Jim Boylan clearly is as well. I think that Jarrett Culver, it would be a really good fit in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yes, he's not a point guard. Yes, I know that's the biggest thing in Chicago. So you need a fucking point guard. But I'm not going to fit a square hole into a round, or a square peg into a round hole just because he's a fucking point guard. Get over it. You need a point guard. Ja Morant was the guy.
So you're taking a bench player with your 7th pick in the draft? That's something.
I don't think he's. I mean,
who's he starting over? Zach LaVine or Otto Porter?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and that's the thing too.
I think the thing that could happen.
Or do you just point guard LaVine?
That one.
We're just playing the Devin Booker rules here.
Here's the thing too: is like it doesn't mean he's a bad player though. That you're going to. I think it's a good sign if Culver goes to your bench because he's not a bad player. Arguably, he's a top 5 talent in this draft, and you're getting him at 7.
Who's going to run our second unit? You want Culver running our second unit?
Which is fine,
I don't
probably.
care about the second unit. I don't care about running the second unit. Well, I care about versatility, and that's something I've preached throughout this whole mock draft system for the Bulls. If Ja Morant's not available, I don't really love a point guard. That for this team, I don't think a point guard really fits for this team. So Kobe White would be the one that fits. I like him more over Garland for the Bulls.
Yeah,
for sure. But I think Kobe White's too much of a reach at this point. Not a reach, but I think it's too much of a stretch there. And I think Culver's too much of a great value.
You think the value is
there
there because he fell on your board.
And I think the versatility that he brings to your team would be huge. He can guard 2s and 3s. Otto Porter can guard 3s and 4s.
Just give me some Danny Ainge positionless basketball and let's
Pretty
just
much.
fucking jazz hands it up, man.
Yeah, man, and that works. And I don't know if Jim Boylan can make it work, but
the Bucks would argue it didn't.
Okay, but you're going up against Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's saying fuck all basketball. It does not fuck positional basketball, not fuck regular basketball. It's fuck your 1980s basketball. It's fuck your 1970s basketball. It's fuck basketball. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a fucking cheat code. So if you're going up against Giannis, then hey, maybe we should have drafted Kobe White. But I think for the long shot,
Just having fun.
I'm having fun too. Jarrett Culver, I think it's too good of a value to pass up there.
Also, I want to give some love to some comments while we've been
Yeah, go ahead.
talking. First off is Jeppers, who's basically Bulls fans doing mocks for 2020 now. Yes, I am. I'm doing mocks for the 2020
You got
mock
Cole
draft
Anthony?
already. Any of the point guards. Even give me what was the nickname
worry,
Z
you just
used for him? The guy from Arizona who
Mannion?
the ginger.
Nico Mannion? Yeah.
Yeah. Give me him. I don't care. One of the point guards. Mystique Dome consoled me as a Knicks fan. Then later on, Jake, to him, said, Katie will ease the pain. Don't worry. And then last but not least, Spurs fan. Hi. But Psych Cheese actually brings up a good point about the Bulls. And this is why I thought of Jarrett Culver also. Go with Jarrett Culver, Pat Bev in free agency. And he can then be the
Good luck
point guard
trying
that
to
we're
get Pat
looking for.
Beverly.
Pat Beverly quote retweeted a thing saying today that Chicago's a good idea.
Uh-huh.
Now I don't know if he meant free
Dave's
agency,
eyes just opened
but
up.
he's available, and the Bulls have money. So and
'Cause
that would be a classic Bulls move.
Go get somebody old.
No, go get somebody old, but also we're not getting KD, we're not getting Kyrie Irving,
We're getting Pat
Patrick
Bev.
fucking Beverly.
That's who we're setting our sights on.
But yeah, no, and someone
That's
said
believable.
Bulls should sign Rajon Rondo too.
I love Rondo. Bring him back.
Also, Shars goes, Culver at 4, don't at me. I added you, bro.
There's a chance. There's
What's
always
that?
a chance.
He said Culver at 4 to the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, that's not happening. Let's now recap real quick before we get into the Hawks at 8. Number 1, we all have Zion. Number 2, we all have the Grizzlies taking John Morant. Number 3, we all have the Knicks going R.J. Barrett. At 4, I have the Lakers going with Darius Garland. Ricky has Brandon Clark. And Dave has Bol Bol. At 5, the Cavs, I have him taking Cam Reddish. Ricky has him taking Cam Reddish. Jarrett Culver going for Dave to the Cavs. At 5, at 6, Suns going with DeAndre Hunter, Ricky going Darius Garland, and Dave going Darius Garland. And finally, at 7, I have the Bulls taking Jarrett Culver, Ricky taking Kobe White, and Dave taking Kobe White as well. So let's go into 8 for the Hawks. Ricky, start us off.
This is, for me,
We got to say, worst case scenario for Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got fucked.
It would only be more fucked if they got the 8th pick and then the Mavs got the 2nd pick. That would be more fucked. But
Yeah.
this is a bad scenario for the Hawks.
That's fair.
I think I'm going to go Jarrett Culver here, and the reason why is just BPA off the board. We're right now the two that I'm thinking about in my head were Culver and Bol Bol. But the good thing about the Hawks and their picks is those 2 picks are compressed together, and really it's like if they like Bol Bol, which I do like the fit of Bol Bol with the Hawks, it just comes down to, do you think the Wizards going to take him, or is someone going to trade with the Wizards? I don't think neither of those will happen in mine, so that's why I'll go Jarrett Culver and I'll go BPA for them at 8.
All right.
Yeah,
What are you
makes
going
sense to me. I'm going BPA as well on my board with Cam Reddish.
I forgot you have Culver already on the board.
Yeah.
I was about to say Culver's a steal at 8.
He absolutely would be. Cam, I think falling to 8 seems about right in my mind. But I could see teams falling in love with him during workouts. Mm-hmm. But for now, I think it's a safe bet that Cam Reddish going 8 to the Hawks. They get a player potentially to fit their future mold. It's oozing with potential, and that's what this team can do right now. They've got a gluttony of picks. They already have a guaranteed star in Trae Young, which is awesome. So just bring some additional shooting, bring a potential secondary ball handler in Cam, which I'd love to see him try to be put into that kind of a role. So yeah.
This is a real shit draft for the Hawks too, because the guy that I always envisioned him taking a 3 or a 2-3 with this pick, and then going a big later on.
Yeah.
And yeah, that worked out when they had the 4th pick. Jarrett Culver going at the 4. That makes sense. You got him at 8, Ricky. It's a great value for him. And then at 9, had him going Bol Bol, Brandon Culver or Brandon Clark, or Goga Patazde. I don't know what to do here because I think Bol Bol is your potential pick, right?
Yeah.
Do you go potential? Goga, all-around player, but do you trust the international part of it? I mean, do you trust that his tape is actually the truth out there? Obviously, they have scouts over international, overseas, watching Goga perform and seeing what he's doing. That's going to be something big, too.
The one I want to throw out is Retro said earlier while we were talking about the Bulls, I think the Hawks at 8 take Sekou. That's what he said.
Your boy?
Well,
Sekou Demboya.
I was going to get into that, too. It was like, well, if you go Goga, do you also double up and take Sekou, too?
Euro. Do you go full Euro?
You never go full Euro.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think you have to go best player available, without a doubt at this point, because you need to hit here. So it's going away from that, and I think we're probably going to go with the man, the myth, the legend, Bol Bol.
Thank you.
Bol Bol going to the Hawks.
Yeah,
I think
it'll be interesting.
Sean having Bol Bol in the top 10.
it's happened before.
I know. I just like giving you shit
The
because of how
fact that
much
they
you're
have
talking
two
about.
picks is huge there, and although I love Goga, Bol Bol has the higher potential. So
Thank you.
we're going Bol Bol, the Hawks at 8. Do we have to really go over this?
Let's
Look-
have their second pick, and then we'll get
All right.
into the Hawks.
Let's go to the 9th pick. Wizards on the clock. Ricky, who's your pick?
I'm going to shock the world here. Jackson Hayes to the Washington Wizards. And the reason why is
Why does it shock the world?
because for me, I've been so low on the I've been so low on the centers in particular. And number 2 is I've usually had DeAndre Hunter go here. So this to me, in like my personal mock, is a shock the world because like, holy shit, Ricky's had Jackson Hayes in the lottery because usually I have not had that happen as of
You let
late.
him Hayes in your 4.0.
And the reason being is of what we talked about in the Wizard discussion for best fits with the Wizards. That's actually going to go up on YouTube the day this goes up. Is they need a rim protector, and I know Jackson Hayes is young, but they can develop him into being that rim protector for them of the future. Give me that over DeAndre Hunter, over a Bol Bol, because I know Bol Bol adds more offense than Jackson Hayes. But give me that defense at the center position in that front court to help out that backcourt of Wall and Beal when Wall comes back healthy.
Dave, who are you going with?
It's bold. I feel bad doing this because I know I'm going to make one fan very unhappy. I'm just going to take DeAndre Hunter here. Like, I looked around the board and I was just like, look.
Here's my number 2.
I've shit-talked him far enough down on people's boards. I feel like I've done a decent enough job on that. But when I look at what's left, like, I could take a stab at Sekou, which, again, international scouting, like Sean already talked about, questionable. You got to know timelines as well. And I look at the contracts that Wall and Beal are looking at, and I've got to go, no, this team needs someone who can contribute. I still think Sekou is going to be a couple years away from being a legit contributor to this team and a playoff run. DeAndre Hunter is a plug-and-play guy. You put him in that team, and I think he's already a professional. He's a grown-ass man.
I'm going Sekou Demboya. I disagree with you on where he is currently right now.
Yeah.
So I think he can help you. Maybe not year one right away. But I think he could end up helping you down the line. And I think that I would love his fit more with Charlotte. I absolutely love that fit with Charlotte. But it doesn't matter about Charlotte. They're not on the clock.
It's true.
And the way that this has come out, I think the best fit for them is DeAndre Hunter. He's not on the board. I think Jared Culver would be a good fit too if you moved him to the 3. He's not on the board. Bol Bol would be the guy. He just went off the board. So I think you need a player that could be an impact player. And maybe that's after the life of John Wall in Washington. Maybe that's after the life of Bradley Beal in Washington. But I think Sekou Demboya brings the most potential to any team at this position, and I think that Sekou Demboya would be the pick here for the Washington Wizards. I think he's too raw. He's too, his body's too nice for the NBA. Like he's too nice not to be a top 10 pick is what I'm trying to say. He's very, very intriguing. Got a very nice shot from the outside. He's very athletic. He seems to be very aggressive attacking the rim, and I think that he can end up, if he learns to use his body in the right way, end up being a potential menace defensively. Maybe not like a great defender,
right,
but at least disrupting plays, jumping passing lanes, starting the fast break. I think if he learns to turn up that aggressiveness defensively, he could really turn into a good two-way player for you.
Look, I might be drafting short-sighted by trying to fit DeAndre Hunter into this team's timeline better because I do think that Sekou has more potential upside than he does.
Yeah.
But And that's my fault.
Well, I love
weighing...
the Hunter pick. I love the Hunter pick. I mean, but Hunter's not on my board.
Fine.
So I can't go with it.
Yeah.
If Hunter was available, I'm going Hunter.
Okay, so me having both, you have no problem with me going Hunter over Sekou. Then.
Not at all. Not at all. I think Hunter would be. Hunter is the pick for them.
Okay,
I think so. I think
appreciate we had him at confirmation because I wasn't sure.
We had him at 6, right, or whatever. Throughout
the majority
this whole draft process, and if he was available, you're 100% right. He fits that timeline. He fits the position needs. You don't have to worry about him growing. He's already there. Yeah. He can obviously grow and become better, but at best, he's always going to be your third best player.
Yep.
John Wall is your second best player. Bradley Beal, I think, is probably your first best player. John Wall, you don't know really what the injury is going to happen to him, but I think it's really Hunter can bring a lot to that team immediately. Impact player. I think Hunter would be the pick. If he's available. He's not available, though, for me, and I think you have to go potential. And that's what Ricky was going with, too, in Jackson Hayes. It's either you got to get a product that's ready, and the only one that's really ready right now is DeAndre Hunter. And if he's not ready, you got to go potential. And there's really, two guys with massive potential still available for you guys. I'm surprised you just didn't go Bol, Ricky.
Yeah, and the thing that really put Hayes over Bol for me is that defensive part for the Wizards is they need, when we did that Wizard segment on the podcast this past week, and there was that stat that they were number 1 at most points given up at the rim, they need their guy to basically say, hey, I'm going to be the rim protector. I'm going to be the last resort, and if someone gets to the rim, I'm going to go ahead and block that shot and make sure it doesn't get in. Without that, you're just going to give up points, and basically it's like, what, are you just going to become the team that, hey, we're going to go Rockets, double the offense, and just hope to outscore you because we're giving up so many points. That's why I went with Hayes over Bol.
Fair.
Bol.
All right.
Hawks number 2.
Hawks at number 2. The Hawks at 10 with their second pick. Ricky, who do you have them going with? You had them going Jarrett Culver earlier.
Bol. This is the one where it's like, hey, you know what? I took my 2-3. I know with Culver could be either or. Yep. This is where I take my big and go Bol, who I thought about at number 8, but now I'm going to take it number 10.
All right. Dave, who do you have going with?
It's Jackson Hayes. We had him. I had him following this team around throughout the draft. It's just the Hawks need Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes needs the Hawks. It's a perfect marriage, and at 10, it feels like the value is perfect.
I don't have Jackson.
Sean?
I already have him going with Bol.
What do you do though?
Yeah, that's a difficult question because Hunter's off my board, Culver's off my board, Radish is off my board. Clark really doesn't fit because you just took Bol and you already have on the team in John Collins. So I think you either have to take a reach in two guys that were really highly ranked coming in, Romeo Langford and Nasir Little, or you go with shooting and you go Tyler Hero.
It's tough. I mean,
I don't know.
They do have Red Velvet there. I'm just saying.
They do.
I know Kevin Huerter
Huerter
is a fantastic shooter for them and seems to be the future. But with his size,
and I think one thing too, Little brings something else that Huerter doesn't.
Correct.
Romeo Langford is going to be an offensive player no matter what.
Yep.
And that's probably overlapping a little bit with Huerter. Huerter is a pretty decent two-way player. We got to give him credit for that. But Nasir Little might be that that really shutdown guy.
You do need someone on the wing to shut people down.
Yeah.
But
and Hero
putting Nasir Little that high kind of hurts you a little, doesn't it?
It does. It extremely does. And I like PJ Washington, but I'm not. I want to see him play the 3.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be a 3 though.
Ooh.
J-Dub keeps saying Hawks take Batazde.
No, they already went Bol.
I know.
So that's the thing
but he likes Batazde over
but if you
any
trust
of the
your
centers.
gut feeling of Bol won't be there to last,
then
you take
double
the
up on
surefire bet on
centers.
Goga. Or Gorga, as Ricky likes to refer to.
Yeah, Gorga. And Bruno Fernandez.
In the imaginary draft.
Yep.
Nasir Little.
Oh, no.
Nasir Little.
We got a Nasir Little spotting at
in the
10.
top 10.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ. This
Holy
lottery
shit.
fucking sucks. This lottery fucking sucks.
Do the Hawks trade back?
What?
I think they try to trade up.
Do they?
I think they trade up. Yeah, they trade
So take
up.
both picks to
Have to.
trade
Yes,
up?
without a doubt.
Yeah.
There's no reason for the Suns to take DeAndre Hunter at 6. Trade him, flip him, and you go to 8 and 10, and that way you can take Kobe White, who's still available, and you can go after and get somebody other player like Sekou Namboya or something like that. You can go out and get a player. Oh god.
Sean's gonna live in like a cone of shame for the next couple minutes. Quick shout out because J-Dub is Patreon John. John, welcome. Great
what's
to
up?
see you in here.
What's up, John? I also want to give a shout out to JW on Twitter, who's throwing out some ideas too. He's saying conspiracy about the Lakers, and also Dunn, Hutchison, and the 7th for Lonzo. So
just I'll try to keep it in.
and JW also says, "Hey, Dave, back."
Atlanta game. Trade both picks to the Cavs. Just give them to the Cavs.
I don't know, man.
All right.
Ugh.
With that
All right,
being
let's
said,
let's recap.
Yeah.
At first, overall, we all have going Zion. 2, the Grizzlies taking Ja Morant. 3, the Knicks all going R.J. Barrett. 4, I have the Lakers going Darius Garland. Ricky has them going Brandon Clark. Dave has them going Bull. At 5, Cavs, I have them going Cam Reddish. Ricky has them going Cam Reddish. And Dave has the Cavs going with Jarrett Culver at 5. At 6, Suns going DeAndre Hunter. Ricky has them going with Darius Garland. And Dave has them going with Darius Garland. 7, Bulls going Jarrett Culver for me. Ricky has them going Kobe White. And Dave has them going with Kobe White as well. And 8, Hawks, I have them going with Bull. Ricky has them going with Jarrett Culver, and Dave has them going with Cam Reddish. At 9, I have them going with the Wizards, going with Sekou Demboya. Ricky has them going with Jackson Hayes, and Dave has them going with DeAndre Hunter. And finally, at 10, I have the Hawks going with Nasir Little. Oof. Ricky going Bull, and Dave going with Jackson Hayes. I mean, what would you do, at least for me, on that board with the Hawks? Do you go Bull 8? Because you were a fan of the Hawks going Bull 8.
I absolutely would have picked him. I mean, I think the fit, people are saying, defensively, you might have some concerns between him and John Collins. Bull's defense has been like one of the most controversial things on Reddit for NBA's_draft, because it is just like left, right, center. You just hear constant like hammering of his poor defense, his poor effort on the court. But then you see all the clips put together, and it's like, all right, well, watching the games in real time, maybe there's some situations where he got left out to dry. Maybe it's not just him, or maybe he is just not a great defender. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he still has length. He still has the ability to block shots. I'm not uber worried about that, and I think that team becomes hilariously dangerous. If you get Bull at 8 for that Hawks team, fucking hilarious.
Who do you go
They're
with?
launching threes from 80 feet out. Like, it doesn't matter.
Who do you go with then at 10?
For you, sir,
I'm like, does Nasir Little pick make sense? Like, I'm just thinking of a
It
project.
makes sense.
It's your second pick. You need a wing defender.
You're taking 2 big stabs, though, between Bull,
Yeah,
who you
they
have questions on, and Nasir Little, who we all have questions on.
Yeah.
I would either go with a littler stab in Romeo Langford, or a little bit of a reach and go 3-point shooting with Tyler Hero. That's what I would do, because
I don't think they need Hero, because I think Herter and him overlap too
yeah,
much.
but could you imagine all that? Like, the only thing, Herter's got more defense, but I mean, all that, like, even when Trae Young is not on the floor, Tyler Hero can still give you that NBA 3 range when Trae Young isn't out there. Of course, he doesn't do the assisting and the point guard play like Trae Young does, but like, I would go with either one of those two, either Langford or Hero instead of Nasir Little, but I am lower on Nasir Little than a lot of people.
No, you have him the same rank as we do.
Yeah, we all have him like dead center.
Yeah, we.
I might have him go sliding down a little bit. I don't know. Like that, he's the one where
we all have. I think the highest we had him last time at the 5.0 was, I think I had him at 18. Rick, you had him at 21, and Dave had him at 21. So like, we all had him that 18 to 21 range, and I just took him to 10. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But that's what the lotto does.
I think the fit is fine, and that's what they're saying. Reach, but I like the fit. I agree. I tend to agree, because I don't take a 2-guard here. I feel confident in Herter. So I would probably look for a wing.
Are you high?
Are we overlooking
ATL
Kevin
gang
Porter Jr.?
467
How he hasn't been brought up at all?
I mean, he's another ball handler. I think he could fit on this team. It's a less of a reach, but it's more of a question mark on his mentality, his off the court, his intangibles are brought up more as a question mark. So I think it's a toss up, because Little had success to some degree in college. We saw about a handful of games against clearly worse level competition where he's able to really excel and abuse them. But his defense throughout the whole year was pretty solid, and he was a decent slasher. You know, the shot may need a lot of work, but I think at the NBA level, you need someone who can guard elite wings.
Yeah, we're seeing some people throw out Langford. Some people throwing out Kevin Porter Jr. J-Dub saying too high for Little. I agree. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Hero and Herter overlap too much. And yes, Herter could probably put a 3, and then you could put Hero at the 2, and then have Trae Young at the 1, and then I don't know what you really do with Prince at that point. I don't know.
He runs the bench unit. He's fine.
I don't know. Little is the best defender available.
Yep.
And Langford, he's
the best
two guard.
defender at this point at his age.
Yes.
Because you still have Matisse Thybulle,
That's
who
true.
is the best open range defender.
Oh man.
Quick
The man's a
question.
fucking free safety.
Quick question for you, Sean.
Yeah. I don't know.
Looking back on yours, because obviously the draft could
Come on,
play
we still
out.
got to keep rolling.
I know. I just
Yeah.
want to throw out this one pick. Is if you could go back and be like, if the Hawks took Sekou at 8, would the Wizards be taking Ball at 9 then?
Yes.
Okay. So then that's
And then Gogo would be going to the Hawks.
okay.
Yeah.
Would you, looking back, if you could change it, would you have done that instead?
No.
Okay.
Because the Hawks took the best player available.
Okay.
I mean, you're then gambling because then what if they take your guy and Goga at 9? Then you lose out on that, and then you're forced to take Jackson Hayes.
Yeah.
I guess you can really prioritize then the position that you need at that point.
Because like you had
there's
so
3
many
centers.
wings go.
Well, there's 3 centers available at that point for the Hawks.
Yep.
And you're taking the best center available in your opinion at 8. But then you're really then abandoning that wing position.
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. It's a bad pick, and it's my own pick. Let's go. Let's go to 11 for the Timberwolves. I'm gonna make up for it. Brandon Clark going to the T-Wolves at 11. That's a fit that we
Ditto.
love. This is the value. I'm making up for it. Brandon Clark goes to the T-Wolves.
Incredibly productive college player. His game, he was able to elevate it when he transferred. It stuck with. He looks fantastic. He can drive from the outside. He's confident with the ball in his hands. He's got a good spin move. Defensively, he has instinct that you can't fucking teach. The only thing that, you wish he measured better. I know we haven't combined yet, but where his height is and wingspan, if he was, an inch or two this way and an inch or two that way, he would be an elite category, even with his age up for consideration. But he's the ideal fit next to Cat. Like that is how you make Cat happy. And you make him happy, you win more games. The only thing they could do better is just let him shoot the ball more. But that's a coaching thing. That'll get sorted in the offseason.
Yeah, I'm going to go BPA. I'm going DeAndre Hunter. I don't
it's
know
so
how
bad for
he's
him.
fallen. Like, I know why he's fallen so hard. It's because I had the Lakers at 4 take a little bit of a reach of Brandon Clark. And then just like the Cavs going with more of a development in Cam Reddish and just how everything has played out.
Yeah.
This has been the fall. And of course, we always see that one player in the draft where it's like, how the fuck did he fall that far? Like last year was Michael Porter Jr. of like, how the hell is his medicals really that bad? Is that why he's falling?
He did have surgery on his back again.
And then he fell. But hey, I'm hoping that they're in Vegas for Summer League because I heard today that he's going to be in Summer League
Hell yes.
for the Nuggets. I can't wait to
we
see
gonna
him
be
play.
in Summer League, by the way? Ricky and I
Yep.
gonna be live.
So I'm going to go DeAndre Hunter to the T-Wolves and just go BPA. So the commenter I can't remember where he's like, what about BPA? This is where you get your BPA after the lotto's done.
Yeah. Here's some
Hate.
comments coming in. Wolves are a mess. J-Dub, our boy John saying top 4. Hunter goes 4th. Some Elite Nate saying still ain't over the fact of Clark at 4. Havon_P says, dude, Clark at 4 is so fucking dumb. Clark to me, is he like a 3 or a 4? That's from Spurs fan. He's a 4.
We believe
Clearly
he's
a
a 4
4.
and then a small ball 5.
He's not a 3. He's a 4-5. If he's leaning anywhere, he's a 4-5. But he's for sure
he
a
doesn't
4.
have a good enough shot
Especially
on the
next
outside
to
yet.
next to Cat, he's a 4.
Absolutely.
Let's move now to. I mean, even then, you could probably play him at the 5 defense. I don't know.
Yeah,
like
no, they would. They would pretty much switch defensively because Cat's mobile. That's fine, and he's a great. Brandon is a great rim protector.
yeah. All right, let's move to the Hornets at 12. Who do you guys have him going with?
Easy. I'm going Sekou. I'm taking the stab. They absolutely are a team with just a toss up. You have Miles Bridges. You have Malik Monk, who I loved, but he has not been able to play up consistently to the level that my expectations were set for him. Kemba's the big question mark. So if you feel uneasy and you want to go, and I wouldn't be opposed to taking a Nickeil Alexander-Walker here. Absolutely have him on my board. But I'm afraid to take true 2s because you have depth there. I'm afraid to take a 3 because I like Miles Bridges' fit. So I'm going with Sekou, a guy who could be a 3 or a 4. Obviously, at the 4, they've got Marvin still, but like he is old. You need to start replacing that. You got so many 5s on the fucking books. I can't. So I'm taking best value available, and it's Sekou.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Romeo Langford here. I'm going to go more 2 than 3. I know in the last one when we did our live lotto, I had Rui here going more of that 3 than the 2. But going to switch it up here, go Romeo Langford to the Hornets.
I love the Sekou fit. That's my favorite fit of any player, really. I think him.
Yeah, you've been crossing your fingers for them to take him.
Him around Batum and Parker if he stays.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a beautiful
Cultural
fit next
fit
to
on
him. Yeah, I think it'd be a great place for him to grow. But Sekou went 9 to the Wizards for me. I have the Hornets going with Kobe White at 12. Even if Kemba doesn't leave, even if Kemba stays around, Kobe White's an interesting player that you could develop. I think that his value too at this point is very clear. Best player available. Go with Kobe White. And that's the thing with the Hawks, too. If the Hawks are sitting at 10, they'd probably move back and try to get a team that's kind of thirsty for one of these bigs. But anyways, the Hornets sticking here at Kobe White. I think that his fit would be really nice as the successor to Kemba if he does move on right away. And even if he doesn't, you need a backup point guard at this point, and you need some offense to really pick up, because outside of Kemba, there really isn't anybody on this team. Monk's a project, really hasn't really fully grown into it. Miles Bridges really hasn't fully grown into a scorer.
The man has some amazing dunks this year, though.
Yeah, very athletic player. But really doesn't have a full offensive game yet.
Hopefully Frank will be healthy for them. That could be some scoring coming back for them, which would be interesting. But yeah, I like
Kobe can bring you offense. At some point.
I like the addition of Kobe.
Yeah.
I think he's a good fit.
Let's go to the Heat at 13, and then let's recap first, and then we'll do the Heat and the Celtics last. At number 1, we all have Zion going to the Pelicans. At number 2, we all have Ja going to the Grizzlies. At 3, we all have the Knicks RJ going to the Knicks. At 4, I have the Lakers taking Darius Garland. Ricky has Brandon Clark going to Lakers, and Dave has Bol Bol going to Lakers. At 5, I have Cam Reddish to the Cavs. Ricky has Cam Reddish to the Cavs, and Dave has Jarrett Culver to the Cavs. 6, I have DeAndre Hunter going to the Suns. Ricky has Darius Garland going to the Suns, and Dave has Darius Garland going to the Suns. Bulls, I have the Bulls taking Jarrett Culver. Ricky has them taking Kobe White, and Dave has them going Kobe White as well. Hawks, I have them taking Bol Bol. Ricky has them taking Jarrett Culver, and Dave has them taking Cam Reddish. At 9, the Wizards, I have them taking Sekou Demboya. Ricky has them taking Jackson Hayes, and Dave has them going DeAndre Hunter. At 10, the Hawks, I have them going Nasir Little. Still hate that pick. Ricky has them going Bol Bol, and Dave has them going Jackson Hayes. At 11, Dave and I have Brandon Clark going to the Timberwolves, and Ricky has DeAndre Hunter going to the T-Wolves. And then at 12, the Hornets, I have them going with Kobe White. Ricky has them going Romeo Langford, and Dave has them going Sekou Demboya. Let's go to the Heat. What do you guys pick?
I will say before I give my Heat pick, I love the straight comments of worst place for Zion to go. Man, Zion looks so depressed. Man, he looks so disappointed. Man, another career ruined by the Pels.
Oh my God! Please don't
Just
start.
full on hate for the Pelicans.
Let him play some games and see what the organization puts around him with the Anthony Davis trade. That's my big thing.
But if you're Zion, are you excited about this? Because I'm not.
No,
I'm not excited about
Are you
this
kidding me? You
at all.
had a chance. You had
At
a
New York,
ping
the
pong
Mecca.
ball chance to go to New York
Or
or
LA.
LA. I would,
Or even Chicago.
or even Chicago.
Yeah, man.
That's rough.
Kyle's saying, I can't wait for Zion to force his way out of New Orleans in 6 years.
Oh.
Zion should pull an Eli move. I don't
Yes.
think that's going to happen. And then Spurs
He
fan,
could play
I hate
football.
how the small market's such a terrible place to live and play at. ESPN Media does it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can live in LA, New York, Miami during the offseason. I will say New Orleans is a really great city. And clearly they can...
Some of the best food.
Really, they can back up a sports team. Just look at the Saints. Pelicans really haven't caught on yet. Maybe
Yeah,
Zion
but the
is
Saints
that guy.
win.
Well, that's
Maybe Zion is
Yeah.
that guy to fix it.
the big knock on ideas. He couldn't do it.
Yeah, he can't do it.
And someone's saying about endorsements, Zion, it's a good point, because if he's going to New York, if he's going to LA, way easier to get those sponsorships,
He's
way
a
easier to get those
global
media
brand
around
already.
you. That's the thing. He's got, and I hate that ESPN brought this up, but he's got 3.2 million followers on Instagram. That's already 0.3 away from Anthony Davis. The guy's going to be a global superstar.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move now to the Jake's still not over the Saints. Let's move to the Heat now at 13. Ricky, who do you have him going with?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with a pick that I had in our live lotto. I'm going to go with Tyler Hero. And the reason why is this team, I'll be completely honest, they could literally go with a couple different options here for me. They can go with more of the, I don't want to say development, but I am going to say a little bit of a development in Sekou Demboya because of how he fits. They can go Tyler Hero, go with the 2. They could also go with Romeo Langford. If he's here, they could also go Kevin Porter Jr. I just I was sitting here between Porter Jr. and Tyler Hero, and I think because Winslow at the 1, Richardson at the 3, they really need that too. I know Dion Waiters is still there, but
Dragic.
Dragic is there. I'm going to slot him at the 1 or slot him as a point guard. He's got his player op.
I just wanted you to throw up.
Because you said Justice at the 1.
Yeah, I mean, because Justice played the 1 this year for them. So, I mean.
After Dragic got injured.
Exactly. So I'm going to go Tyler Hero because of. I think Kevin Porter Jr. might be a little bit more ball dominant than Hero. And that I don't want because of what we saw from Winslow. So I'll go Hero.
I think they're actually pretty close. The games where Kevin Porter exploded, he definitely was ball dominant. But I think Tyler Hero actually had, ball in hands. Yeah, he had a lot of success, but I don't know, his off ball, that's tricky for me because I feel like he's a better ball in hand shooter. Like he's not I want to look up the stats before I make a claim, but I'd be interested to see his catch and shoot percentages versus his dribble up and like step back. So that's just me. I would question that, but I agree. Like they need another scorer out there. There's not anybody I would reach on as far as like going to a PJ Washington here to add in another 4 behind James Johnson. But in my mind, I am going. Oh, it's between 2 people and it's killing me. Sean,
One of the 2 people.
It's
Because I have no idea either. Again.
Okay. Cool.
Who do you have? Who are you thinking?
I'm gonna just lock it in then at Kevin Porter Jr.
Well, who are you deciding between?
It was Nikhil or he, and I like Nikhil a lot, but I also think Nikhil doesn't have the top end that Kevin Porter could have. I think he's a stable player. I think he's definitely right now a better finished product.
Yeah.
But Kevin Porter's potential means he's on my board.
What about Romeo?
I overlook. His college production, I get it. He was a great high school player. His shot in college, depending on the injury that he's now having had surgery to correct.
His shot was still the same.
Yeah.
It might not have gone as much because he was in pain, but the actual motion
I think
was the
he's
same.
as much of a prospect as Kevin. I think they're fairly close. But Kevin just has the ability to pop off and create offense at a different level. So I'm going for the creation. I think Justice is a potential future point guard is great. But
Yeah. I'm thinking 5 players here. Tyler Hero.
5.
Nicky Alexander-Walker. Kevin Porter.
Yep.
Romeo Langford. And fucking Goga. Because Whiteside's contract's coming up after this year. He's got a player op for $27 million. Jesus Christ.
Which he even talked about. He's like, I want to play. I'm thinking about not taking.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous to even say out loud that you would pass up on $27 million.
And even then, they still have Bam as well, which kind of pushes me away from that. And Kelly Olynyk, who's there until 2021. I think I don't trust Dion Waiters. It's just a fucking tough choice, man. I don't know how fucking GMs do this. Thank God I'm not one. Dion's there for 3 years. Richardson's
but
there
he's
for
not
4.
there for 3 years. If you get where they're going with that, I think he's a piece on the move.
Well, who wants Dion Waiters for 3 years at 11.5?
It's not the worst value. He's just another guy who has games where he goes supernova. Mm-hmm. You know?
I don't know.
I think there's some middling teams in the NBA who would be happy to take a stab on him.
I like Romeo Langford. Let's
All
go
right.
Romeo. I think he's kind of the same reason for Porter. I just like his upside more.
Yeah, I mean he is. I think he's longer, and he had like wingspan wise, and I think the defensive potential is better with him.
And Porter is an explosive athlete for sure, but both of them don't have great jumpers, but they both are really just strong prospects, and I think Romeo, if anything, might just win out in interviews. I don't really know what the situation was with Kevin Porter getting suspended at USC, and I watched a ton of interviews with Romeo from his pre-Indiana days. He seems like he's got a really good head on his shoulders. Obviously, I don't know him well enough, but Romeo Langford going to the Heat. Finally, last pick, Celtics 14. Who do you have him going with?
I'm going to go with my boy. Rui Hachimura is the guy. A little bit of a reach here maybe, but I like his fit with the Celtics. They're going to go with a wing.
Wings on wings.
For this one, I just basically want to say his name in this mock. Could they have gotten him later with their second pick? Probably. But otherwise, if they're not going Rui, they're going Kevin Porter Jr. here, but I'm going to lock in Rui at 14.
I don't know if it's a bad pick yet because A, they haven't played, but B, if there's any trades in the works, like, Jason Tatum might be leaving town. They could use somebody to play, a wing for them. they're
Talking a little AD trade.
They're losing Marooks. Your boy Sean Marooks. So I'm just saying, like it's easy to joke about, but I think Rui could be an interesting prospect, especially with how quickly he's learning basketball, how much more potential he has still to grow. It's easy to pick on his game because it's limited right now, but I don't know. There's hope on the upside. I'm going Nikhil here. I need a point guard. I need someone who can come in and be a professional, and I love his all-around game. I think he's a guy who probably looking back on this class is going to be like, yeah, he was like, you're like, man, there's just a minefield of fucking busts in the middle there. And, hey, there's Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
So you mean
he's
like
really good?
You mean like his cousin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean, hey, it's too early to say there's that many busts in between, but yeah, I think he's going to have early success, and I think he's going to be consistent, Malcolm Brogdon-esque, but very much upper end of the draft.
Yeah. Here's a pick that I don't.
Just say Goga.
I don't believe
Get
it.
over it.
No, it's not.
Oh, what?
I need one fan on my side. All right, I need one fan, and I know one guy will like this pick no matter what.
Jake?
Tyler Hero's still on my board.
Oh.
Eric, you got your boy.
He said it in the comments.
Tyler Hero goes to the Boston Celtics. I think you should probably wait on him if you're the Celtics. With Kyrie leaving, possibly Rozier leaving too. Rozier might stay if Kyrie leaves. Yada yada yada. I think you might want to go with Nikhil Alexander-Walker, go after the guards, especially with Marcus Smart being injured. I think you should probably look at surrounding a guy who can have the ball more in his hands. But Hero is an elite shooter, and kid's gonna be good. It's just do you want to wait? And maybe you take some of these other
But
packages
is he
and
like
try to move
Luke
up.
Kennard good?
He might be
Luke
JJ
Kennard.
Redick, Kyle Korver good. I mean, I think someone said he's JJ with better handles. I mean, JJ had a way better stroke. JJ is, I mean...
That's taken
JJ
years to
insane.
perfect, though.
Yeah, and even coming out of college, JJ's stroke was sickening. But Hero, interesting prospect. And we've talked to Eric before, and we talked to John before.
Yep.
They both think that his defensive potential really hasn't been tapped into. His potential just in general hasn't been tapped into. And I sort of agree. I don't think him going in the lottery is crazy.
No, I don't disagree.
Havan says that Hero is a rich man Stauskas. And then John said facts.
Whoa. All right. Love it.
Sauce Castillo taking shots on the stream.
Bring the heat. All right. We got like 6 minutes for some, and J-Dub said Nicky Alex is a shooting guard. I think that he could.
I think he's
possibly,
combo.
Yeah, I think he could be a combo. Not a full one per se, but I think he could be a combo.
One thing I want to throw out, because this was a comment, two of them both by Professional. First, he said, cool to see you guys on Twitch. Usually watch on YouTube. Keep up the good work, so thanks for that. He also threw out a potential Cavs Hornets thing that I wanted to mention.
Yep.
Where if my comment section kept going down, he says, yo, what if the Cavs trade Kevin Love to the Hornets for this year's pick and Nick Batum? Thoughts?
What is it?
It's Kevin Love for Batum and this year's draft pick.
I mean, Batum really doesn't bring too much value.
Really? I mean, I know Kevin Love's a better player.
Hasn't been that great.
I mean, it's more of getting
Batum unhealthy.
an extra draft pick
He
for
got lucky
Kevin
of
Love.
the contract year, unfortunately for his team.
I don't know. I think that's kind of selling low in K-Love.
Yeah, I would hold out.
Yeah.
I'd hold out on
I think you can
K-Love's
get more
deal.
picks for Kevin Love.
Or I think you can get a pick from a better draft class for Kevin Love.
All right. If you have any burning questions, throw them in there because we got time to answer them.
Why
now.
not Goga for the Celtics? That's my question to you,
Because
Sean.
Eric's in the chat, and I think that
value-
Goga's the
Because he
better
saw
player.
Eric say Hero.
Goga's the better player.
He wanted
My
to-
whole thing is I think that if the Celtics moved up to trade to get Tyler Hero later with some of these later picks, if they moved up to like 17 or something like that and took Tyler Hero, I think that'd be a great pick, and then taking Goga 14, that would make a lot of sense. If I was picking right now for the Celtics, I would have gone Goga. But I wanted to give Eric his guy. Just end on a happy note. Like I said, at least one guy will be on my side for that pick. Goga, I absolutely love though, and I think that him learning under Al Horford would be huge, and Horford leaving the next year, him being there playing underneath Goga would be absolutely huge. And I see a red flashing light coming above my head, so I'm gonna go change the camera battery. If you guys want to pick some of the
I think we need to do one recap
throw out there.
before we hit
Well,
questions.
you guys do the recap because I can't read.
Yeah,
so you guys do the recap.
The recap, all of us have Zion at number 1. Then we all have Ja Morant, the point god, at number 2 to the Grizzlies. Then the Knicks, we all have RJ Barrett at number 3. Then at 4, Sean's got Darius Garland to the Lakers. I've got Brandon Clark to the Lakers. Dave's got Bol Bol to the Lakers. Then the Cavs at 5. Sean and I have Cam Reddish. Dave has Jarrett Culver. Then the Suns at 6. Sean's got DeAndre Hunter. Dave and I both have Darius Garland. Bulls at 7. Sean has Jarrett Culver. Dave and I have Colby White. Then the Hawks at 8. Sean's going Ball. I'm going Jarrett Culver. Dave's going Cam Reddish. The Wizards at 9. Sean's got Sekou Demboya. I've got Jackson Hayes. Dave has DeAndre Hunter. Hawks at 10 again via the Mavs. Sean's got Nasir Little. He's still unsure about that one.
No, I mean,
I've got
that's the pick. I just hate the pick, and I made it.
Dave's got Jackson Hayes. T-Wolves at 11. Sean's got Brandon Clark along with Dave. I've got DeAndre Hunter. Hornets at 12. Colby White for Sean. Romeo Langford for me. Sekou Demboya for Dave. Then the Heat at 13. Romeo Langford for Sean. Tyler Hero for me. Kevin Porter Jr. for Dave. And then the Celtics. Tyler Hero for Sean. Rui Hachimura for me, and then Nickeil Alexander-Walker for Dave.
You done hit the wrong button, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you go click the button,
Yeah,
make
I
the
got it.
screen disappear?
What I did. My bad, guys. I don't know what I did. I just put the
clicking
battery
buttons.
back in there. Also, now you guys, the fact the camera's up, you guys see my bald head. Couple that I saw
I'll
that
give you a sec.
I do want to answer, and I saw it before. I want to get to it. Fuck, where is it? It was a
Sorry,
really
there's
good
a
one.
delay. I'm just chilling on this.
Do you guys see any trades? Oh, that's it. From Amazement,
Still there.
717. Do you guys see any trades early?
Got a little inception going here. But,
So, what's up?
oh, he's just trying to clear the stuff on the screen
Oh.
still.
I hit record. Does that matter?
Probably.
Probably why.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, technical difficulties.
It's still working, so it doesn't matter.
I'm waiting.
No, it's still
There's
there.
a delay.
Amazement said, "Do you guys see any trades coming early?" There's definitely a high possibility of that happening, and that's something that we'll talk about for sure on the podcast on the next one. But I think you could definitely look at the Knicks coming.
Oh, we're good.
You could see the Knicks
You're golden
at
god.
3 if they do want to go after AD. That can go same for the Lakers as well. And the big one too that I ended up running into, I think the Suns should be moving down. And I think the perfect pairing partner for them would be the Hawks at 8 and 10. Hawks move up, they get their wing, and they fill that need. Where the Suns, that way they can go after maybe a Kobe White, and then they could double up and get a power forward.
Over under 4 trades in the lottery alone. By the time we are done with 14 picks, 4 trades will have happened.
I'm going to go push.
You want push?
Yeah,
It's
I'm
over
gonna
under.
go-
Get off the fence.
No, I'm going push because the Knicks are going to get AD, so that's going to be a Pelican pick. The Suns and Hawks are going to make a deal. The Bulls are going to make a deal, and then someone's going to trade into the lottery via the T-Wolves or the Hornets. So I'm going to go push at 4.
I'll say under 3. Knicks, Lakers, or Celtics will get AD, and one of the either 14 is going to be in there.
Well, the Celtics
4 is gonna
can't
be-
get him on draft night, just to clarify.
Yes,
'Cause of Kyrie.
Kyrie's contract.
Yes, but they'll be. But are we? So we're saying on actual
By,
ladder.
yeah, I
day.
said by the time the 14th
Yeah.
pick is completed.
Oh, then 2.
You think 2?
Yeah. They'll be picking for the Celtics. I guess the Celtics will be picking for.
In hopes
New
of the
Orleans.
Pelicans?
Yeah, they might agree to a deal
Verbally,
at that
yeah.
point. Yeah. But not actually be able to go through with it.
Interesting. All right.
But I think the Knicks, Lakers, and Celtics one of them will get AD. I think the Suns and Hawks will flip. Maybe that's just 8 and 6 they flip, and the Hawks include something else, and they still keep that 10th pick so they can go after a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I think maybe the Heat move out just a little bit, and they get a player. Maybe they like Romeo Langford and Kevin Porter the same. They're just gonna wait and get one of them later. I think that could happen. So those would be the teams that I throw out there for trades. You guys got any questions that come out there?
The new draft odds, Haven P. Do you think the new draft odds will kill tanking? Not so many teams jumped up in the first year of this new format.
I don't know if it'll kill tanking because teams will be bad.
No,
and
it
I
makes
think
it makes rigging it a lot more easier because we don't question it.
We need
They
the tinfoil
didn't
hats now.
rig
Jake
it.
called it.
Yeah.
They did not rig the
rigged
lottery.
It. They rigged it like always, but now it's the odds. So it's like we didn't rig it; it's the new odds. It's still rigged. The Pelicans got the number 1 pick. Come on.
Here's the thing: is it's going to. I know people are gonna be like, oh well, look, New York, Los Angeles, New Orleans is losing Zion.
Why the accent?
You gotta look at Memphis too. Memphis are gonna sell their team.
Why the accent?
Because that's typical Joe Schmo
Okay.
guy. But like,
Like the Pelicans had 6%. Like
Yeah.
It's 6%. That's not that.
Think about how much they would have had the year before.
So 2 teams with 6%.
Your team
Memphis
won
and
it
New
on.
Orleans
Your
got-
team won it on much
Oh,
less.
I know, and I will be the first one to say probably rigged also
I don't
because
think it
Derrick
was
Rose
rigged.
was from Chicago.
It's just a coincidence.
And the Bulls were really bad during the early 2000s, like really, really bad after having Michael Jordan. So yeah, I'll say it was rigged for us to get Derrick Rose.
Dacus Gaming says, "Do you think Mike Conley's worth a top 20 pick in the draft?"
I think absolutely.
Yeah, I
I
think
think
so.
he's worth more than a top 20 pick in this draft. He is such a good point guard. He's the nearly all-star. You know, he is in that upper. I'm curious now. I want to look up where do we have him ranked in point guards?
Who's that?
Mike Conley.
Oh, like overall?
Yeah,
I think it was.
remember
I think it was 10.
Yeah,
I'll look it up.
I think there's teams who are either playoff teams right now, or they're teams who are trying to make that jump to be a playoff team who would absolutely give up a draft pick to get Mike Conley. So yeah, I think there's quite a lot of value to him, even though the contract is a bit steep, but I think it's worth.
Conley at 11. You had him at 10. Ricky
All right.
had him at 12, and I had him at 13. I had him below Bledsoe,
Oh, you're talking
Rubio,
position rankings.
Yeah.
Lowry, Dragic, Simmons, Lillard, Walker, Wall, Irving, Paul, Westbrook, and Curry. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I had Westbrook above Damian Lillard.
Yeah, well.
And I also had Walker above Damian Lillard. Sorry, Dame.
I make mistakes. You make mistakes. That's the whole point. That was at the beginning of the year.
I mean,
now we get to
Sean
look
had to
back.
see Little go to the Hawks, right?
He had to see a little
Ba-dum-bum.
back. This man, you
Anyways.
don't know what he's gonna do.
Throw out final questions, unless we're gonna wrap it up.
I'll throw out this.
Most likely,
Steph
or Matt Barr says most likely get AD.
Knicks.
I'm going Lakers.
Most likely Knicks.
Yeah.
Who I
That's
think
fair.
has the best offer? Lakers.
Yeah. No,
What were you gonna say? You were saying
Steph
Steph.
Curry might be getting a wet boy from me. They're winning, and he's got 25 points. He's 6 of 10 from 3.
What quarter?
Third quarter. 7:15 to go. 62-48 Blazers are losing.
Yeah. Lottery shouldn't exist anyways. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Yeah.
It's just so easy to tank in the NBA.
See, but that's the thing is like I think that if we're saying this is going to get rid of tanking, that's what the NBA wanted, right? So they accomplished their job. And if you got rid of the lottery, then teams would just be more inclined to tank. So I think
it's like Jake said. Thank God my team tanked before these new odds.
I think the
Seriously.
fact that this was this much of a shock, I think nobody was expecting this, is huge. And I think that teams might be dissuaded to tank a little bit. Teams on those borders might really push towards that.
And the reason why I am going full rigged mode is not just because of the big markets, but also if you're going to incentivize not tanking, give a team with 2%, the top 4. Because then it's like, oh, we can have the 2% and still get a top 4. It happened the first time.
No.
So I'm still going to say it's rigged. The reasoning, I don't know why.
I don't care if it was rigged or not. I love
do.
the fact that we're getting rid of the mediocre NBA.
Process?
No, the mediocre NBA. When you're stuck in NBA purgatory, when you're not good enough to be a playoff team, but you're not bad enough to get a top pick, the Suns know exactly what I'm talking about. They were there for years.
Well, they got Suns again.
Yeah, but the Suns ended up getting one of the
Suns
best players in that draft because they got Devin Booker at like 11.
I agree. I'm just saying, like there are those situations where teams are stuck in that 7 to 14 range because they're just not good enough to be a playoff team, not bad enough to be a top pick in the lottery.
But now it's going to push teams like Phoenix, who could have been the number 2 pick, and now are picking at 6.
yeah, fucking deserve it. Get out of the basement.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But how do you get out of the basement if you're going to be put? Now you're taking a team that's really bad
Look,
and pushing it
giving
into that
Phoenix
purgatory.
as an example is bad because they've had their plenty
No,
share of
I know
shots to make it.
they've messed up, but I'm just saying, like, you've got teams like Phoenix, who was a top 2, could have gotten John Morant if there were no lottery, and now they're being pushed back to 6, and especially like this draft really hits it home because how many times have we said, well,
Three-man
after
draft.
this pick, there's a talent fall off, or
Three-man
after this
draft, yeah.
pick, and it's like that's where it's like Phoenix, the Bulls are screwed. Atlanta got screwed with this one being pushed back to where it's like, I get what they're trying to do, but I still think it's rigged. Because you're pushing those teams back and pushing them into that purgatory.
All right, final one. This is from Jeff's Rock, and I'll just go to Dave because we kind of answered this before. How would you grade John Morant against the point guards drafted last year going into the draft? So last year's point guards. I know you're probably having a tough time
Yeah, I literally am
remembering
like,
them.
I don't know what happened last year. I know we talked about it for 9 months, and I can't tell you what happened in last year's draft.
Dave's
other
like,
than Luka
names are even
Doncic.
hard.
Luka, Trey.
I think Trey's better passer, better shooter, worse defender, worse physical body. I would still take Trey. He's got incredible upside because of that 3-point range and just amazing facilitation. So I would put him probably 2. I would put him above Shea.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Sexton too.
Yeah, I'd put him above Colin Sexton and Shea.
So how would you rank him?
I would go
Trey, 1.
Trey, Ja, and then probably Shea, Colin Sexton. Colin, I loved you at the end of the year.
Are we not
but you
counting
didn't show
Luke
me
as a
enough.
point guard, or are we
Correct.
counting him as a okay?
He's a 2.
Because
He's a 2, he's a
'cause
3,
on
he's a point guard.
Wikipedia it said point guard,
He's a
small
primary
forward.
ball handler. If
Yeah.
you want to call that, he's the number 1. It's me answering,
Yeah.
so if it's Luka's number 1.
Here's a ton of people just saying they're waiting for Zion going back to Duke. I don't think they can. I don't know if he signed
Oh,
already
no, he
with.
can.
So the number
Well,
10 pick was
here's
Luka
the-
Doncic. So that it is Trey Young and the number 10 pick for Luka. So now, how
that's
do you
right.
feel
He
about
totally
that?
can still, because they give
I
you the.
don't think. I don't know if he signed with an agent already.
Could
What?
you imagine if Zion said, "Fuck it, I'm going back to Duke. I don't want to
That
be a
would be-
Pelican."
That'd be so fucking.
Earth-shattering.
That'd be so fucking stupid. I think he probably already signed with an agency though.
He did endorsements and signed an agent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's not happening. He's going to New Orleans, and I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing is just building a winner there, and you would be like, look, they haven't built anything out there. David Griffin's out there, very professional guy, has had a great track record, has worked with LeBron. I think that David Griffin can do enough out there, and they have a ton of pieces coming back in an AD trade.
According to the Athletic,
It's not happening.
Well, I'm just saying this
Okay.
was 10 hours ago. According to the Athletic, according to one NBA source, Williamson is yet to select an agent, a decision that seems inevitable before he signs a lucrative shoe deal. For now, Williamson is surrounded by his mother and stepfather, who have been guiding him through every step of the process. Basically, he hasn't picked an agent yet. So
But he
technically,
may have done
he
endorsements.
could still, well, and that's the thing. We don't know if he has for sure. If he hasn't, he could go back to Duke, and
He's not going back to Duke.
I know he's not.
He's not
but,
going back to
why not? Do you really want to go to New Orleans? I'll play for Coach K another year.
Yikes.
Run the whole thing back.
Okay, he just had the lifetime scare of his shoe breaking.
Yeah, that's true.
His literal shoe breaking. And if that was any worse, that could have possibly dropped his tank, or possibly
to
ruined
stock,
his tank to stock. That could have ruined his career. That guy is going to the NBA. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna take all the endorsements that he can. He's not stupid. He's going to the NBA. He's going to be a Pelican, and they could build a winner around him with all of the stuff they're gonna get from that AD trade. They already have Drew Holiday. They have the ability to make it work.
Jake, you getting your tin hat moment. What if he says, I'm pulling out of the draft. I'm just gonna sit a year.
Yeah, they still own his rights.
I'll sit. No, I'll pull out of the draft. So like I'm going back. I'll sit a year because I don't need to prove I'm the number 1 pick.
Zion gets the.
Darius Baisley treatment.
I was gonna say that, or he goes to China.
Yeah.
Imagine him in China, like Jimmer's numbers, but then way funnier. Way funnier.
I don't need to prove I'm the number 1 pick. You already know it. I'll just sit out a year.
Oh my god.
Run it back the next
This is
year.
spiraling.
Yes, it is.
Sean, if they enjoy watching this show, what should they do as fans of Most Valuable Podcast?
That's a great transition. Well, you can go to patreon.com/mostvaluable-podcast. We have Spurs, our Spurs guy going out here, checking out patreon.com/mostvaluable-podcast. We definitely appreciate it, and hopefully, we're able to talk to you through Discord. If you're gonna become a bronze member, or if you're a silver member, you can at least throw out some topics if you want us to talk about your Spurs, or if you're gonna be a gold member, you can come onto the podcast and we could patch you through, and you can have lovely discussions
Thanks,
like we're
Jake,
doing right
for
now.
hitting the link up in the
appreciate
chat.
it, Jake.
Shout out Jake, as always. Shout out everybody. Kyle Craig's
Yeah.
up in here. I know
been
that was
awesome.
a big one. A ton of familiar faces. John as well in here. Eric as well in here. Some of the familiar faces that at least were super recognizable. But a ton of guys. Demon King too. These are just. I don't have my
It's a good
laptop
conversation.
now. But yeah, no, it's absolutely fun. So we're gonna try to do more of these.
Yeah.
And if you do want to listen to the podcast, it'll be on iTunes coming up soon. It'll be on Blog Talk Radio. It'll also be on YouTube. YouTube.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Is that correct? Is that what the banner says below me?
Most valuable podcasts is what you search in, but I think it's most valuable podcast real.
Real.
Is the URL.
Yeah. So check that out if you guys don't know where we are from. And
'Cause there were
this is
so
your first,
many
This is
fake-
your first thing you've seen us.
There were so many fakes when we made it. Like
That's true.
SI has
Thank
a
you,
fake
professional.
MVP podcast.
You're the man.
They're the fakes. We're the real.
But they're MVP podcast.
Yeah, but we're the real
We're the
one.
We're
Yeah.
podcasts.
Yeah, we're the real.
All right. That's Ricky Widmer. That's Dave Oster. I'm Sean Anderson. Anything else we got to shout out? Anything else you guys want to throw out there? Or can I end it?
MVP podcast posting tomorrow, so great time to be a patron. You'll get the June one early where Mark and I talk Game of Thrones.
Any Twitch ones? Any Twitch shout outs? Are we all done?
Literally everybody.
You wanna
I
end
love
it?
everybody.
All right, guys. You guys are the best. We love you.
Even the people that hated my picks. I love you too.
Even my dumbass picking Nasir Little. Shout out Dave. Shout out Ricky. Pointing at the wrong people. I'm Sean Anderson. We'll see you next time.